is the Big O Show. This 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 is.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill, good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Howdy, welcome aboard. Yes, sir, time to rock and roll as we get prepared here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Man, I've been in traffic. I just like sat down right now. I told Shad, just started already. If not, if I got to set up and everything, we're gonna be a couple minutes late here. So I was for those of you that were traveling north on the Palmetto, and there was like this accident right after the toll plaza, like on 100 and I think it was 106 or something like that. Damn, everything was backed up. For sure I was going to get here about a half hour early and sit down calmly and get to set everything up and prepare, and no shot, dude. No shot. Stuck in traffic for an extra half hour, and I'm sure a lot of you were stuck in traffic in all kinds of other areas and in South Florida. But yeah, we made it here to Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. As always, thank you all out there for tuning in and supporting us. You're ready for a good weekend? You confident about tonight there, Sean? No? You're not? Wow. Let me tell you something. It's rare that you get a lack of confidence from Sean on anything locally. Normally, he's pretty positive. He's like a half a glass half full guy. You know what I'm saying? Even when it's kind of bleak. And for him to just there was no hesitation in you.
Nope.
Like
None.
They're too injured, right?
They're too injured.
Yeah.
And the fact that they refused to put Jimmy Butler on an injury report tells me all I need to know.
Right. Yeah. That's like heat ignorance, right?
It really is.
Yeah,
it's to the point now to where it's like, we get it. We understand heat culture. We get all that. We're here for you. But I mean,
you're injured.
You're not even playing with half a team right now.
Right. They know you're injured. So what the hell? You know what I'm saying? They'll put you on the injury report. So then what you're doing is violating NBA rules?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but again,
is that what the Heat are doing right now? They're violating NBA rules? What would you say there, Larmo?
I would say yes.
Right.
In a way they are, because again, if you're going back to the whole thing with the sports betting, right?
Uh-huh.
If he's not on the injury report, then you think you're getting a 100% Jimmy Butler.
Exactly.
And you are not getting a 100% Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Not even close.
Right. No, you're right. You're right about that.
I mean, our healthiest players, damn Duncan Robinson and Markieff Morris. Those are our healthiest players.
It's not something to feel confident about today.
No.
Not at all.
And you know what's going to happen?
What?
They're going to win by 30.
Right. Yeah,
They come back here for game 7. That's
right.
exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, right. That would be typical of this series, that they would end up winning when we all think that they're going to lose because they're all beaten up, man. It's bad. I don't have a lot of confidence myself. Alarmo does because he's pumped up. He's got the fist up and everything. He's ready to go. I think he really wins. He really thinks they're going to win today. But then again, I mean, Alarmo always wins because he's Alarmo. But I don't know. Don't feel good about it. I'll tell you that. You know what I did last night? Also, besides watched a little of the Warriors. I watched Top Gun last night with the wife. My wife hadn't seen it in like a couple decades. The real Top Gun. Yeah, the original Top Gun. We're going to go to the theater next week during the week after one of the shows. No, I ain't going on the weekend. You're going tomorrow? You're a crazy bastard. So you're going to 11:30 in the morning? Oh, okay. So that one may not be that full. Okay, so that's smart. We're going to wait till next week during the week. And after the show, in the middle of the afternoon, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or whatever, we're gonna go to one of those IMAXs and watch the new Top Gun Maverick. So I watched last night the original Top Gun. I've seen it like 87,000 times, so I know all the lines. My wife looks at me several times and says, "How many times have you watched this?" Because I'll say the line before the line is said and all that kind of stuff, and I'll do it a lot. And so we watched it, and one of the things that I'm going to be intrigued about the new Top Gun, and I tweeted this out yesterday. Will the ventilation be a lot better in the new ships, because you constantly walked around with swamp ass? I mean, those guys sweated like a whore in church when they're in the ship. You know what I mean? Kimmy Cat, who follows us on Twitter, she's been a long supporter of the show, and we love her. I think she's out in, I believe she's in the Carolinas. I think she's in South Carolina, if I'm correct. And she tweeted back. She goes, "Well, she tweeted back the volleyball scene." And I go, "Well, no, I get the sweat in the volleyball, and you're out there I'm talking about inside the damn ship. Every time somebody's inside a ship, they're just sweating balls, dude. It's like the second you shower, you're sweating. So I'm just wondering, for those of you that served, wait a minute, but you didn't serve Navy, right? Oh, you were on a ship.
Yeah, I was on ship.
Okay, so
it's fine, but the problem is they're not.
Is it really swamp ass in there all the time?
Not all the time. There's times where that it gets a little bit
muggy.
Your berthing areas are usually pretty cool. It's not like you're sitting there, but you have to remember, they're usually when they do the movies, they're using the ships that are like already decommissioned and things like that. So they probably didn't have all that in those scenes.
I'm thinking they're spraying this dude. Put on your glass. Okay, ready. We're ready for the
I'm
shot.
sure some of that happened. But also, I think they use decommissioned ships, which are not going to have all of the ventilation because they're taken out of service.
I'm just saying, dude. It's like, why shower?
Yeah, but if you come off of
just walk in there and just use the soap on your sweat and just then walk out again, and that's it.
Yeah, but you're coming off the flight deck. The flight deck is the hottest spot of the ship because it's the runway and
right. Yeah,
the sun beating down on it. There's no getting away from that heat. And then when you go down into
but every time they have a shot inside, it didn't matter, bro. I don't care if it's Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, but it's the stress that's making the sweat.
Jesus.
It's the stress.
It should be called Swamp Ass Gun. I mean, that's
nobody's going to watch Swamp Ass Gun.
My wife goes last night, I never noticed that there was so much sweat in this movie. And I go, yeah. I go, forget about the damn volleyball scene. I get it. The women are going to
honestly,
love
though-
the volleyball scene, and I'm sure maybe some of you guys, all that, but whatever, fine. But you're supposed to sweat there.
I think that might be a Tom Cruise thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think his movies now. You got Jerry Maguire. There's sweating going on there.
Eric Storm says Top Gun 2 was amazing. Saw it on IMAX last night. Best movie of the year, and it's not close. Eric, the hell's wrong with you, bro? Did they sweat or not? Answer the question, Eric. You got to make yourself useful.
But for Eric's defense, that was in there before you started the sweat tirade.
Oh, okay. Okay. And by the way, just in case, because I had to apologize to a guy that I ripped the other day, because he goes, oh, you only read half my thing. You didn't read the one earlier. Dude, there's hundreds of people chiming in. If you got something to say to me, keep it in the one box, bro. Don't go in 3 parts, and then there's like 30 people in between the other comment or whatever. I can't go searching and piecing together your messages. So if you only say one part and I read it and I think it's dumb, I'm going to rip your ass. You should know that already. So if you're going to break up your message, I may not want to break it up where it looks kind of bad. Okay? Just want to warn you ahead of time. Because some guy was like all butthurt because I ripped into him because he said something stupid. But he goes, no, dude, you read only half of my message. What do you want me to do, man? I got to go. I just look at the chat board and I glance at the first thing I see. That's what I'm going to react on. So Eric Storm, does he have it? A little sweat. Instead of volleyball, they play football on the beach. Think they showed, but I don't care about that. I'm saying in the ship. I don't care about the outs. You're supposed to sweat if you're playing football, volleyball, basketball. That's normal to sweat there. You know what I'm saying? It's normal for Hollywood to be sweating when the MIG has them locked in. I get it. I understand those kind of moments when there's sweat. But I'm talking about every time they go to the ship scene and somebody's on a radar, the dude is smoking a cigar and, whatever, and he's talking to you in his office, and you're going to be, flying a ship of rubber ducks out of Hong Kong and all that, and he's sweating buckets. Okay? That's all. What happened? What do we got? What's a thumbs up? Oh, we got Ira? Is he sweating buckets too? Okay. All right. Let's ask Ira about that. Let's get to our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA. Reporte.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Inquiring minds want to know, Ira, will Top Gun Maverick have any kind of ventilation inside the ship? Because, the wife and I watched it last night. And it's swamp ass every time. I get the volleyball scene and all that. You're supposed to sweat there. But inside that damn ship, there was no ventilation. Will there be ventilation in Maverick? Will there be ventilation tonight for the Miami Heat in this?
Well, it's interesting how sweating is the theme of your show at the start today. And the Heat are sweating right now. And you're always sweating in an elimination game. And remember, Big O, this is their first elimination game. We saw what happened to the Hawks against them, elimination game, done. We saw what happened to them with 76ers when Sixers elimination game, done. But Boston won an elimination game in Milwaukee, won an elimination game at home against the Bucks to advance. So we'll see if the Heat are up to the moment at this level, and it's not easy. So far this postseason, even Dallas survived an elimination game, a game 4 at home. But the road's a different character. And I'm gonna go a little tangential here in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. I remember the last time the Heat were in this situation in Boston. You do too. 2012. Heat were down 3-2. LeBron James was about to get Eric Spoelstra fired, but that's another story for another day. I'm sitting there at TD Garden where the Heat bench is, and sitting next to me is Pat Riley. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I turned to Pat and I said, "Are you nervous?" He goes, nah, we got this one. And you know what? When you have LeBron James on your side and you know he's going to go for 40-something, it's a lot easier. That's the difference. There is not a player tonight. I would love to tell you, hey, Big O, because
wait a minute. Unless you're in San Antonio and you sweat them out.
Okay. All right. So you want to turn off the air conditioning. Yeah. Okay. So you're coming full circle.
Come on.
But you know what? The thing
skills, baby. That's radio skills. Come
on.
on.
Exactly. And we were there, and that was awful. And I honestly thought I was sitting next to Doris Burke in San Antonio. Again, we're just getting completely tangential. Big O's talking about 2014 finals. AC goes out first game in San Antonio. Heater up big. LeBron starts cramping. And I this was not the COVID atmosphere back then. You just thought you were getting sick. And I was dying. And I took my sport coat off. And I turned to Doris Burke and I go, is it hot in here? And then I looked around and everyone was fanning themselves with their game program in the seats. And only then did I realize I probably wasn't running 110-degree fever and the air conditioning is out. So, okay, that's one way to do things. But again, not home court advantage. The Heat can do that to the Celtics on Sunday if they make it back. Big O, my problem is this. In that 2012 Game 6, when Pat Riley was so confident, he knew he had LeBron James on his side. Let me ask you this. Based on what you've seen through the first 5 games of this series, do the Heat have that alpha who is healthy to do that?
Yeah, you killed me at the end there. You just threw the caveat. Healthy. No. It's and that's why I don't feel good about tonight. It's just Strus is injured, PJ's injured, Jimmy's injured, Tyler's injured. It's just and they don't have enough stars as it is. They're not a star-driven team.
Perfect.
You know, we kind of, in fact, we kind of sit here with the argument: is Jimmy a star? Is he not? Is he just an all-star, not a superstar?
Tier 2.
But damn it, he plays like a superstar. You know what I mean? But right now, he's not healthy. He can't be that guy. When Jimmy isn't driving to the hole, you know he's injured because Jimmy is the most fearless mofo on the planet. And plus, he's got those vice grips his hands, so he can always go into the hole with no problem. And he wasn't even doing it the last couple games because he's so injured. He can't even play his game, which is really important. And so I would love to feel confident about tonight. I'd love to convince myself, but they just don't have enough stars from the get-go.
Yes.
And right now, the only star that they have is broken. I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Big O, when you have an ensemble team, the most important thing is you can say we can survive an absence because we have 2 or 3 others.
Right.
But when the 2 or 3 others also are injured,
exactly.
I hate to put it this way, but you are just completely screwed. So in other words, if you were to tell me Kyle Lowry has the hamstring, hell, he had the hamstring 7 games and the Heat won all 7 with Gabe Vincent starting. Why? They had Tyler Hero. They had Jimmy Butler. They had Max Strus playing well. They had Bam Adebayo playing well. That's the thing. But you take one guy out and you don't have option 2 or option 3, Lowry or Hero. That's where you get in trouble. And it's all cat and mouse. The Heat right now don't even have Jimmy Butler on their injury report. Big O, you saw what he's looked like the last 2.5 games. He sat out a half a game on Saturday.
Aren't the Heat violating?
No, because you're saying a player is either questionable, probable, doubtful, or out. Jimmy Butler is playing. What the injury report doesn't have on it is this. What percentage is Jimmy Butler? So the Miami Heat basically are saying that 50% Jimmy Butler will be on the court 100% of the time tonight. That's what they're saying. So the injury report sort of can lie that way. Meanwhile, you have Tyler Hero questionable 50-50. He's not 50-50. He has that groin injury. He hasn't done a damn thing now in 5 days. I would find that very unlikely. The Heat are going lighter on their shoot-around this morning. They're going to do it at their team hotel instead of the arena for that reason. So they're limping to the finish line, and it's sad, and we've seen it. And the difference is, it's just this past Monday we looked at the Panthers' end of the season. They were healthy, they were whole, that's who they were, and they weren't good enough. We will go into this offseason, and it's great for our accurate Pembroke Pines reports every Monday and Friday throughout the offseason when you can go to me. But Ira, instead of ripping up this team, what if? What if Jimmy was healthy? What if Kyle was healthy? What if, if Tyler was healthy? And then we'll get into the ages also, because I got to tell you, Big O, I'm starting to do my postseason capsules. I'm not a quitter, but you got to be prepared because I am a Boy Scout, and I'm getting ready for that. And when I type in some of these damn ages, and I got this guy's turning 37, and this guy's 36, and Jimmy's turning 33, and UD is turning 42 next month, you say to yourself, is there something bigger here about the injuries? You know what it like. Big O, you know what you were like in your 20s. Hell, did you stretch? No, you just got out there. In your 30s, did you warm up? No, you just played. Then you turn 40. Then you turn 50. And I think that's part of it. Can you survive a 100-plus game NBA season with so many players who were so old? And you and I, every Monday and Friday, will be talking about that on the Acura Pembroke Pines off-season report, which hopefully won't be on Monday.
Yeah, probably won't be. We'll probably move it to Tuesday. You know that. You were anticipating that. Anyway, what's it called? I thought the Lowry deal was going to be a bad deal on the back end, and it ended up being a bad deal in the beginning. That doesn't bode well for me because I was hoping this was the season that you could really take advantage
Profit off of,
of these guys, and now you're going to add another year, and that becomes a real chat. And listen, we'll get into that after this whole thing, but then you've got some tough decisions that you're going to have to make, and you've got some young guys that you certainly want to maybe keep, and you're going to have to make some moves to try to accommodate all of this. So that's the other thing about all of this, that these gambles with some of these older contracts, they may not end up paying off the way you thought they were going to pay off.
Or do you say Kyle Lowry missed all that time due to personal reasons, a ton of time, for a very bad family situation? And maybe if he was with the team and he was training and he was working out, look, the Heat are great with their training work. You know that over the years. They get more out of you. Zoe, with the kidney illness and his age, was able to persevere. So maybe that's the hope.
But he took care of himself. This guy does not take care of himself.
But this guy wasn't around the Heat enough that he always could take care of himself. So maybe without that family situation, he was gone for a month. Maybe without that, and the Heat could be on him constantly, and Pat Riley could be around him all the time. It's like you and me, Big O.
Does he want that? That's the part I
don't give a crap what he wants when I'm paying him $30+ million a year.
Okay, let me ask you something. Sure. Let me ask you. I'm glad you asked that because, okay, when I was a beat guy, I knew Hardaway had a weight clause. I knew Hardaway had an assist to turnover ratio clause because remember, we would walk in the locker room and Tim Hardaway wanted to grab that box score right away to make sure. I believe it was 2.5 to 1, right? It had to be.
It was close to 3 to 1. 2.5 to 1 might be right.
Yeah, I think it was 2.5 to 1 that he had to have, and every day he'd look at it to make sure because he had like $1.5 million signing bonus.
Big, yeah, especially in those days, money as compared to today.
Yeah, exactly, enormous. And so I know he had weight clauses for other people and all of that, but you already signed this guy, and maybe there was no weight clause in there. So and
I'm sure there wasn't, and I highly doubt that Kyle Lowry ran the heat conditioning test either. No one's been able to tell me that.
That's what I'm saying. So how
here's how, Big O.
Here's a guy that's never been like that his whole career is going to be willing to work out now.
Because you and I have both been through this. We have both been on diets, and we both have had our wives look at us at times and going, do you really need to eat that right now? If Kyle Lowry's around the Heat for all 6 months of the season and around Pat Riley will be like you and me and our wives when you go for the bag of chips and they go, do you really need that, Ira? Do you really need that, Orlando? Do you really need that, Kyle? So I think being around the team will have an impact also. Also, I do think this will impact things, Big O. Players have pride, and Kyle has been humbled because he has looked, what's the word here, awful last game. No points, no assists.
He looks like Gonzalo Higuain.
It does. It resonates. Here's the difference, though. Gonzalo Higuain was totally healthy and still playing as a laggard when he was walking up and down the pitch thinking, I'm going to the MLS. This is a terrible league, and he was embarrassed.
My God, they pushed him down like he was nothing on Tuesday night.
Kyle Lowry is because of a definitive injury. No one is doubting. This is not a made-up injury. This is not a cover-up. We've seen it. We saw it when it limped off the court in the Atlanta series. So this is different. So it's a matter of, can you avoid the soft tissue injury? And Kyle's always told us this from when this started. This is my first soft tissue injury. So you know what? Maybe this is a one-off. Maybe this isn't the guy, a hamstring again, a groin again, and then you realize the guy is either not stretching, not in condition, or his body is saying no more. Let's hope this is the one-off, because Kyle Lowry could not have gone this far downhill in a season to where he was out there on the court on Wednesday night without a point, without an assist, without any impact.
By the way, we have 13 insiders on this platform. Sean, I just want you to know that. This is the only insider that I can make a Gonzalo Higuain analogy and he'll pick up on it. You know, only Ira's the one out of all 13. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Clay. Is there, what do you think? Does Clay know anything about soccer?
I think Clay is schooled enough. He's more of a Breck Shea guy, which is why I doubt Clay, but that's another story for another day. My God, the
and
classic,
he throws a Breck Shea line. That is awesome.
Because he's the classic MLS player who would not be good enough anywhere else, and instead he always has another season somewhere. Come on, surfer dude.
That is fantastic. That was awesome. All right. So tonight, is it about mucking it up like they did in that first half? That's like their only shot, right?
You know what, Big O? Last game, Boston only scored 93 points. Anytime you could say to yourself, I'm going to hold the other team to 93, you have to feel good. So I would put it this way. If the game is in the 90s or the low hundreds, the Heat will have a chance. If Boston is good enough to break out and do 115, maybe 120, it's over. The Heat don't have the weapons. They are not weaponized right now to play at that level. So this has to be in the slop. So, folks, if you're watching the game and it's 2019 after the first quarter and it's 51-49 at half, probably you should feel good. If it's 70 to 58 at half, you might want to start figuring, where am I going to go watch those watch parties for the finals for another team? And we'll be back with our season-ending report next week. Yeah, I don't think that he can win a shootout. I don't think they have enough right now to do that, and they have to hit a three. Eric Spoelstra told us yesterday in his media session, he said, our guys are ignitable, and that's fine. But you have to have that match strike. You have to have someone to get it going. So when I'm asked who's the key to the game tonight, I know Jimmy's huge. I know Bam is huge. But to me, Max Strus or Gabe Vincent or Duncan Robinson, one of their ignitable three-point shooters. If you see them make a pair of three-pointers early, great. If you don't, if at the end of the first quarter, we're looking at the box score and the Heat is 1 of 6 on threes, be concerned, be very concerned.
Ira, we'll wrap it up with this off of the Heat beaten track here. We'll go out west.
Okay.
The Golden State Warriors have been able to revive their dynasty, and they're back into the finals now again. And there's nobody to say that they can't actually challenge for the finals over the next couple of years.
Sure.
It's going to become an incredible story now because that valley of all kinds of adversity that they went through, from injuries to defections and all that kind, and some politics mixed in there too, and all of that, they've been able to overcome it. It'll become a pretty special story if these guys are champions again, and if they're able to become multiple champions again with that little divide in the middle. That becomes one hell of a story for that franchise.
Yeah, you know what? The West is not as strong as it previously was. I think the Warriors can distance themselves in the West. I think the Suns have a lot of contract issues. They have an older Chris Paul. They have the DeAndre Ayton free agency that's going sideways. So the Warriors are very well positioned. The East will be the grind-out conference for years to come. Milwaukee's still going to be good. Boston's still going to be good. The Heat are going to be good. Philadelphia is going to be good. Toronto is getting better. The East is going to be the grind. Golden State's really well positioned. Why? Because they stood by their men. Because when everyone says you got to get younger, you've got to get rid of these guys, you got to move on, Draymond, they stood by their guys. I think that's what the Heat need to do. I know these are tough moments. I know Jimmy's been hurt. I know Bam might not be aggressive offensively enough. I know Tyler was off. You have to stand by your core because, Big O, the hardest thing in the NBA is to get a core. And so for all these people who are texting you or smashing your like button or saying the Heat have to blow things up, when you blow things up and start all over again, I've lived
tweak.
Yeah, I've lived the Marlins. I've lived the Dolphins. I've lived 1,000 different incarnations. Stand by your men.
Yeah, tweak, yes, not
overhaul, not rebuild.
I think the Panthers need to be tweaked. I'm sorry.
Perfect. I have no issue with that.
Yeah, because I don't think Huberdeau or Barkov are the superstar that you need. So I think Hubie's the guy you're going to have to move to go get that son of a bitch somewhere.
Even instead of having four,
what the Panthers need to do? They need to be Pat Riley. They need to go find Shaq, and they need to go find Mason, and they need to go find Butler, and they need to go find Timmy, and they need to go find Zoe. I don't know who it is because I'm not smart enough on the hockey side to know who's the disgruntled star out there
Now,
available.
what they need is the
I gotta
disgruntled.
find that guy.
They need the disgruntled son of a bitch who realizes playoff hockey is different than regular season hockey.
Amen.
And at the moments of truth, he's able to stand up to the pressure. They learned a very important lesson against Tampa, and it was a worthwhile lesson.
All right. So I was going to wrap it up, but you led me to something before that, and that was DeAndre Ayton. And I talked about this a couple of days ago, but I haven't had you on since Monday.
Right.
So the Suns said, hey, DeAndre, we like you, brother, but you're not a max player. And, I looked at the numbers. I went back to it the other day, and Ayton's numbers, he averaged 17.2 points, Bam 19. He averaged 10.2 rebounds, Bam 10.1. Bam averaged 55% from the field. He averaged 63% from the field. They're basically the same player. Now, defensively, maybe one's a little better in the interior. The other one's better, obviously.
No, Bam is better overall than Ayton is defensively by a lot.
No, but yeah, because of what he does on the perimeter. Right. What I'm saying, Ayton might be a little better in the interior.
Yeah, but overall,
he might be a little more stout. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might be a little more stout. But my point is, they told him, you're really good, but you're not a max. Is that what the Heat, in hindsight, should have said?
No.
Yeah,
it's the exact opposite of what you and I just said. It's what we said is you have to find your core. Because if you didn't give Bam the max and you let him walk out that door, or he wouldn't take less, who the hell, Orlando Alzagari, were you getting to replace him?
Listen, again, I'm not of the ilk of getting rid of Bam. I am the guy that says, stop asking him to be the offensive guy.
And that's fine. And that's fine. But what I've also heard from you as I watched the Big O show and I've listened on our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports is that they shouldn't have given him the money and he's overpaid. Right. He's not a max.
He's not a max.
But you know what? The market dictates. There are actors, there are musicians, there are journalists, there are radio hosts who were overpaid because their outlets, because the people who were in charge realized they couldn't afford to lose them. That's why you're going to see the same thing this summer with Tyler Hero. There's going to be a number that Tyler Hero comes in at, and you're going to go, holy crap, Ira, why are they giving him that much money?
Is he a max?
I'll tell you, Big O, that my answer to that question now, I'll tell you when we talk at Summer League, is going to be this. Okay, who else were you going to get? That's the thing.
What six man is a max? He hasn't proven that he's a starter. You're going to pay him max?
Okay, but he's almost he was fractions of points from being the Heat's leading scorer. So don't get lost in the role. Consider the overall contribution. That's what I'm saying is salary and productivity are not always on the same plane. You pay what the market dictates. And the NBA is a really good market right now, and you're going to have to pay. The great players in sports get overpaid. The grunts get underpaid. It's just the way it is. So Tyler will get his $25 million, while Max Strus is making 1.8 because that's just the way it is.
Yeah. That's crazy stuff. All right. What do you got on the Sun Sentinel leading up to the game?
I just posted a story this morning about how through all of this, the Heat have never stopped developing. And so they have Javonte Smart, they have Michael Mulder, they have Hayward Highsmith. They have their summer league practice team already working. They're there before practice, after shoot around with the coaches, getting as many reps as they want. They're getting ready for that. And remember, at the end of previous season, they had guys like Duncan Robinson, Omar Yurtseven, Kendrick Nunn, who came in late, you never saw in the playoffs, but they were so ready for summer league and then so ready for the next season. So I spoke to Omar and I spoke to Duncan Robinson and I asked them how valuable are these minutes, and they said, you will see this when the Heat get to Summer League. When the Heat get to Summer League and Orlando Alzagari is courtside, you will see the payoff of all that work. That's posted right now at sunsentinel.com.
The cycle that's going on now is the cycle they didn't have the last couple of years because of COVID.
Because of COVID, absolutely.
Yeah, it's back on. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And, of course, you can catch him on the most complete platform covering South Florida sports right here 3 times a week. Ira, thank you. Have a great weekend.
And I'll talk to you from San Francisco in the NBA Finals next week because you got to believe. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman. All right, our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Oh, man. Horn Dog says, Big O and Ira, aren't you tired of what if everyone was healthy with this Heat roster? This boils down to Bam and Tyler. They should be carrying the old guys on this roster. That's the issue. Well, but Tyler's injured, so you can't do anything about that. And Bam has been exposed already. I think it's official now. You know, the good thing about the Bam situation now is that I think now we can stop with the silliness. Okay? I was doing it, you're doing it, lots of us were doing. Oh, if Bam can grow into this, if Bam can become this, if Bam can become that. That's the good thing about this season. It kind of put the nail on the coffin. That's done. That's over. Okay? And we can agree to disagree, Ira and I, on Bam overpaid. Bam is overpaid. Okay? He's not a max player. I get it. They had to give him the max, whatever, fine. He's not a max player. I'm sorry. But you can win with him. You just got to make sure you surround him with everything else that he doesn't have to worry about. Offense. Okay? And keep him as your defensive guy, your dribble handoff guy, your picks, all the other stuff that he does that either is on the stat sheet or it's not. Whatever, man. That's fine. You can win with him, but you've got to make sure that you've got a couple of other stars out besides Jimmy. Somebody else has got to be a scorer because you can never count on Bam. Those are the facts, and we're down to that at this point. There's no need to even worry about it. So that's the good thing about that we can cleanse ourselves of that already, and we can stop with the silliness. Oh, if Bam can become this, Bam will never be that. So to expect him to carry you offensively is silly on your part, on my part, on anyone else. Whatever you get from Bam offensively is nothing more than a bonus because it's not something that he can impose whenever he wants. That's what stars do. Stars can impose their will on you, whether you like it or not. He can't do that offensively. Just can't. It's not in him. Carlos says he missed a month and he's a professional athlete. If he does not have the inherent desire to maintain the thing that feeds your family, it's unlikely to be forced upon him. Well, actually, he doesn't have to. The money's guaranteed. Doesn't really have to work for it, Carlos. This all has to do on professionalism, my brother. This has nothing to do on I need to do it so I can get paid. I need to do it so I can make more money. No, the money's there already. It's set. It's guaranteed. So it's we got to see now Kyle Lowry do what he's never done in his career. Become a real Heat player and actually get into shape. We'll find out. We'll find out if he cares. We'll find out if the Heat have control over this situation. So we're also going to find out. Oh, and by the way, the time off doesn't give you excuses for being out of shape. So, that's the one thing that kind of, bothers me about that guy. And the Gonzalo Higuain thing, it's kind of the road he's headed down. He's way more productive than Gonzalo. God, please. But right here, this guy that's here now, injured and old, he is looking very Higuain, while Higuain is healthy. Okay. Because Higuain is, God, he is an embarrassment, dude. Wow. I was thinking about this today. It was this morning that, I was looking at Inter because they're going to play Portland tomorrow, dude, after playing on was it Tuesday they played or Wednesday? Wednesday. Oh, my God. And they got to play on Saturday, dude. Couldn't they make it on Sunday for them, man? Give them a damn break. But anyway, I was thinking about this. So they started that franchise with 5 DPs. There's really 3. And they illegally had 2 other ones. So basically they were cheating with 5 of them. Okay. Gonzalo Higuain, how'd that work out? Pizarro, how did that work out? Matuidi, how did that work out? Carranza, how did that work out? And the Argentine kid, what's his name? Yeah, they sent him away already. Again, didn't work out either. Think about this. Inter Miami cheated in the MLS, and they ended up getting fined, the biggest fine in the history of the MLS. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you cheated, you screwed up. Okay. Now, if you cheated and you ended up winning, a national title, or you hid Lawrence Phillips all year long because he dragged some girl by her weave down 3 flights of steps, and you're the scumbag Tom Osborne, and you said, yeah, we'll hide him back there for now. Oh, it's bowl game. Let's whip out Lawrence Phillips and let's go win something I haven't won ever in my life. Right? Because that's Tom Osborne. He had never won a national championship, but boy, he had to win one there. Let me pull out the criminal. Rest in peace, criminal. Anyway, so he pulls out Lawrence Phillips to win it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to have any sympathy for Lawrence Phillips. He tried to play Death Race 2000 with 15-year-old kids after a tag football game. No sympathy here for Lawrence Phillips. Scumbag. The earth is much better without that scumbag. Society is much better without that scumbag. But anyway, I'm just saying. But at least Tom Osborne cheated or was conniving or disgusting or whatever, but he won. You know what I mean? Urban Meyer, disgusting, despicable, stanky fingers. 30-something arrested Florida, won a national championship or 2, right? Inter Miami, they couldn't even be a good team. And they had 5 DPs. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 DPs. And guess what? Their GM, Paul McDonough, okay, that guy was so effing terrible. He got 5 DPs, and he sucked on all 5 DPs. Not one could you build on.
I was going to say they should have been designated for reassignment players, not designated players.
Holy moly. Hey, listen, I'm not going to go too long on this tangent because nobody cares about soccer in this town, and I understand that, and I know I'm one of the nutbags that cares about it, and I've actually turned this nutbag into caring about soccer. Because I asked him, did you watch? He's like, yeah, I watched the game. It's like,
I'm stuck. But at least they're more exciting now. You're
they're actually
you're seeing
better
a
now.
different product on the field.
Yeah,
but you still, again, you can't.
I just wish Chris Henderson had the chance to
get.
Well,
the problem with the whole thing is because of those 5 DPs, they're handcuffed right now. They're handcuffed the next 2 seasons,
fines and everything. Yeah, one more season.
Yeah, they got one more season. Then after that, but again,
right?
Can this leadership group make it through? As a fan, I see the turnaround. You can see the turnaround. For me,
there's some young guys. Yeah,
is it enough for Jorge Mas and David Beckham? Do they understand? I mean, because again,
they have
the pressures of having to put.
Yeah.
Because in Florida, look,
but it has to be.
They only had 11. Supposedly 11,000 was what showed up the last time they were at
Dry Pink.
At Dry Pink, and again, if you're not putting a winner on the field in
I know,
Miami,
in Miami,
and I'm not saying that even if you bring somebody new in,
and even in
that
Miami,
it's going to be a change, but you got to blame somebody.
No, you're right. And right now they have no stars on the pitch. No, and so only idiots like you and me are watching. Yeah. And
the diehards, the diehards are going. That's it.
And actually appreciating some of these young guys, Campana, Ariel, even though he airmailed that PK. It happens, yeah. But Lassiter, there's some young guys on there that you like on this team, but nobody knows about them. Nobody cares about them. But I was just thinking about that. My God,
but they are building a team almost like what the Heat is doing. You have all possibly stars, but no superstar leading the team.
Right, exactly.
As a team, they play well together.
Right.
I mean, they're starting to, build that cohesion. My worry is that, again, when you see the numbers and it's South Florida, if you're not putting a winner out there, somebody's got to get the axe.
Well,
Who is it?
They're going to have to go get a star somewhere. But but Higuain comes off the books this year.
Yeah, well, Messi's out there, right? I mean, let's go get Messi.
But I think Messi is a year out.
Yeah, but I still think that's
which is
we've
ridiculous.
been hearing it since the Steve thing.
But you think about it, a year out gives you that next year of your last year of fines and all that, and then the following year is when you can do something like that. But again, but it's not just him. You're gonna have to go find something. You're gonna have to find a young star to build him. But I was thinking about that, dude. You had 5 DPs and you blew it with five. You couldn't even keep one of them that was decent to build on. I mean, what a shit job of a general manager that you swung and missed on 5 DPs.
And not even one of them were you sad.
And by the way, all of them weren't
also.
Paul. And we can't say all on Paul McDonough because we know Matweedy was all on Beckham.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I don't know about any of the other ones. They may not have all been on Paul McDonough too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There might have been some, but also the worst thing about it is out of the 5, none of them you were sad to see leave.
Yeah, no, right, exactly. Yeah,
Man, hell,
Pellegrini.
There it is, Pellegrini. Yes,
Pellegrini's the 5th kid,
and he might be the only one you might just because
maybe
what he could have possibly turned out to be. But
right, and we'll see. But man, I mean that's embarrassing. 5 DPs, and you absolutely sucked on all 5 DPs. That's terrible, dude. I mean, that's just pathetic. Because that's not even draft picks. And they missed on the biggest draft pick of all right there in that first draft. They could have gotten the kid that Orlando got. And, DK. I mean, it's just, God, it's just they've done everything wrong. And now hopefully Chris Henderson can start to make up for all those mistakes. By the way, Saturday, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Drive Pink Stadium, they take on Portland. That was my favorite team in the MLS. For many years, Portland Timbers were my favorite team. I love their atmosphere and the fans and all that. It's on my bucket list to go to a night game in Portland. Okay, and maybe Inter one day down the line is really, really good, and they go to a night game in Portland, then I'll travel to go check it out because it looks like just an awesome European-like atmosphere. They're constantly chanting. They're sawing off timber and stuff right in the middle of a game. I mean, it's just it looks like such a cool place to go check out a game. So must mention that they are going to play at Drive Pink tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I'll be watching. I love Inter, man. I hope Jorge Mas and company, I wish them the best. And hopefully they'll figure everything out. But yeah, I was just thinking about the DPs. And my God, 0 for 5, dude. That is some really shitty managing. Holy moly. All right. Bunch of stuff to talk about. We got the Heat back in action tonight against the Celtics. We'll get into that. The Warriors, by the way, took care of business against the Mavs last night. I got to say something. The Warriors are a great example for humanity. For every businessman out there, for every woman, for every man, for every child, for every nationality, for every sexuality, for everyone. They are an inspirational team. And I wholeheartedly mean this because adversity hits everyone in life, man. And you've got to find a way to overcome. And, you've got to find a way, whether you're Kirk Gibson at bat and you're hurting and you find a way to hit that home run, whether you're or Hershiser and you're pitching and hitting and stealing bases and running the bases and you're playing every position out there practically, as a batter and a pitcher, and you just find a way to overcome. And I watched Hank Gathers suffer a heart attack on the court and then watch Bo Kimball, carry the spirit of his teammate. And every first free throw he would fire with his left hand in honor of Hank Gathers. And Bo, helped Loyola Marymount get to, I believe it was the Final 8 I think it was the Elite 8 or maybe the Final 4. But it was an incredible feat just to get that far without Hank Gathers. And Bo Kimball played out of his mind. Michael Chang, all cramped up, beating Yvonne Lendl. Life is about adversity. You're going to run into adversity in life, and you've got to find a way to overcome that adversity. And you could tell me anything you want about the Warriors and they have all this talent and all that good stuff. Other teams amass talent and they don't end up, actually accomplishing what they want, right? The Brooklyn Nets. How much was it talked up, dude? We had Ira Winderman would come on every week with a set of Depends on. Okay? Seriously. I thought Ira was crapping in his pants every time he talked about the Nets and how much he feared them. And what happened? Was there anything to fear? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Lakers, weren't they supposed to win all kinds of championships with Anthony Davis and LeBron, and they got lucky that they got one because the Heat got injured? And that was the bubble. Who knows if they even get that one if the Heat is healthy, and what else have they won? And they got hit with a whole bunch of adversity, and they haven't been able to overcome it. Lots of teams, man, and sometimes teams that you think are teams of destiny, and they load up with all kinds of talent, and they don't go anywhere. Well, the Warriors, they went somewhere. They won 3 titles already. They did it one without Durant. They added Durant, and then they had all the adversity. Klay Thompson missed a couple of years with injuries. Kevin Durant said, I want out. And boy, do you regret that now, huh, Kevin? You freaking moron. Anyway, with Kevin, it's karma. You've turned into such an asshole that this is what life is going to hand you. Now you're going to play with a couple of assholes, and now you're going to suffer instead of staying in one great organization where you were actually the best player the 2 years they won the championship. But anyways, as I digress, you lose all of that. You have all kinds of different adversity go on. You've got COVID, everything. You've got some young players also. And now you find yourself, you're back on the pinnacle again. As John Waite would say, as I saw him last week, opening up for Pat Benatar, I'm back on my feet again. Right? With the Babies. It's my favorite song from the Babies with him. Back on my feet again. And they're back on their feet again. And Klay Thompson last night, what do you have? 32 points, 8 of 16 from three-point range. Draymond, Klay, Steph, they stayed together. They did not point fingers at any time throughout the adversity. They stayed behind Klay the entire time. Steve Kerr had some health issues over the last couple of years too. That's an organization that went through a lot, and they fought through all that storm, and they stayed the course and said, "Hey, we can get back to it. We can get back to it." And Klay, Steph, and Draymond got back to it. We got to throw Poole in because he's kind of become the fourth guy. Jordan Poole deserves a lot of love. He's turned himself into one hell of a player. And kudos to the Golden State Warriors for drafting and developing him. And kudos more than anything to Jordan Poole in developing into one hell of a player. And he's been just a revelation and a pleasure to watch off the bench for them. You know what I'm saying? But the Warriors are a great example of being Warriors, actually, of living up to their nickname, of actually fighting through all of this adversity and find themselves again in a championship mode. I tip my hat to them, man. It's pretty cool to see somebody fight through that adversity. And they defeated yesterday the Mavs and won the series 4-1. We got that one right on the liquor split matchup of the night. We got that one right there. Finally. We'll see if we get the liquor split matchup of the night right this time around. But resilient, man. Resilient. Mad props to the Warriors and what they've been able to accomplish. And 4 wins away from their 4th title with this bunch. Freaking impressive, gotta say. Big O, do you think the Miami Heat can pull out Game 6 tonight, then go back home and win Game 7? I believe they can. Let's go Heat. Ricky, you know what I would say? Sean, do you know what we got to give Ricky? thinking they can win Game 6 and Game 7. Ricky, we have one present for you for the weekend. We love you. We thank you for your dedication, your love for the Miami Heat, but it's clear there's one issue with you.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
So sorry, Ricky. No shot. I'd love to think, bro, but they're not going to get any healthier than they've been, and they're badly beaten down right now. It's a shame. They're too injured, bro. They're just too injured.
I mean, look at the difference as Jimmy Butler that's been pointed out since Game 2.
He doesn't drive.
He's only been to the free throw line 6 times.
Yeah, 6,
3
7,
games.
I think. Yeah.
He had 18 in Game 1.
Yeah.
That is what builds. Defense. Yes, they play. Their offense is helped by their defense, but also Butler driving to the lane, getting to the free throw line, kicking out. That also helps that offense, and it's not there right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Bam would be good in Boston. Pair him with Rob Williams. We'll take him. Bam's not going anywhere, Steve. You guys can come up with all kinds of crazy trades. It's not going to happen. He's staying there. Christian Cortez says, Big O, do you remember when the media was clowning the Warriors for drafting Jordan Poole? Look at him now. I don't remember anybody. Why would anybody clown him for Jordan Poole? I don't remember that at all. I don't know. It wasn't even on my radar that they drafted him, that they drafted Jordan Poole. I don't even know why I would credit or criticize them, to be quite honest. I don't remember that. So I'm not the one. So sorry, dude. I don't remember it. Squeeze says, if the Heat shooting is good, we win. The games we lost, the shooting was terrible. They're injured. That's why they're done. They're injured. They're just too beat up. Too Extreme says, Big O, this game is going to be the typical throw everything you can at the wall and see if it sticks or sinks. Just do whatever to stay competitive. Unless Jimmy Butler explodes, we don't win this. Yeah, and I don't know how he explodes. I don't know how he gets healthy in 36 hours, dude. We got to be honest, man. Kyrie is selfish. Yeah, what would give you that idea? We love you, greater good. Anyway, if you all want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Manny Navarro will join us at the top of the hour. Remember, Sloman's is a proud sponsor of our program. You see their Alarmo, 1-800-ALARM-ME, and we'll give you a free doorbell camera right now. The first 40 Big O listeners, chime in, baby. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Get your free doorbell camera so you can keep track of everything going on in your house, whoever's delivering, whoever is annoying. That's right, because sometimes they knock on the door and you look at it and you go, oh, that's annoying. They're trying to sell me something. I'm not going to the door. That's what I do. I don't even go to the door. I let the big dogs on the other side of the door just keep barking and growling like, come on, bitch, I'm going to eat you alive. And then that person that's trying to sell something, by the way, if you have dogs like I do, and I have these 2 big nasty dogs that, they're not very nice to strangers. Let's just put it that way. You don't want to be a stranger and be anywhere near my house because those 2 dogs are like rabid, you're done. You're history. I'm just telling you. And we don't even cut their nails. They got like talons. They don't have nails. They have talons. But anyway, this is the best part. Okay. I learned this on my Sloman's thing. So the best part is they come knocking, right? So my dogs are over at the living room with me, right? And they just take off and they dart, bro. And they go to that door and they stand on that door. And let me tell you something. When they come ringing that doorbell, they're really close to the door. When the dogs come and they hit that door, and that person every time backs up about 3 feet. It's freaking hilarious. They never touch the door again. They're like, okay, it doesn't look like anybody's coming to the door. I don't want to get any close to. They think the door's about to pop open and the dogs are about to jump them. Like the dog's gonna like unlock and open the door and then jump you or something. You know what I mean? That would be impressive. But if you do have dogs, I want you to try that because it's freaking hilarious. It scares the crap. I mean, I don't blame you, man. It sounds like there's 2 mountain lions on the other side of that door. So it's just funny. But anyway, that's what I love about my doorbell camera. And if they're actually dropping off something for food or something, I'll say, leave it there. And then I'll go get the food and all that good stuff. And listen, you can have cameras outside, inside, so you can keep track of everything going on inside, like your dogs. That's what you'll love about the Sloman Shield. And the keypad is so easy to use. The installers will teach you how to use it. Super patient and really easy. I'm a big dummy. So if I can work the keypad, you can too. He's a smart guy. I'm not. Okay? But he's a smart guy. I can't. That's what I'm telling you. Call Sloman's right now, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That doorbell camera connects directly to your smartphone. And when you use the professional installation and, of course, our low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Please tell them that Big O sent you. Get your free doorbell camera, 1-800-ALARM-ME. Has anybody dropped off any kitty litter? You guys talk a lot, but you're not really going to. Most people don't have the balls to go to Pantherland and really drop off some yarn, some kitty litter, a kitty box, and kind of send the message to the Panthers that, hey, you guys have little kitty cats, not Panthers, playing for you. So, it's a fun thing that I came up with, but, it's not an easy thing to live up for. A lot of people talk a good game, but they can't really live up to that game. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people that do my job. A lot of people would say, oh, I would speak my mind. And then when you work in the world of corporate America, you realize that they don't allow you to. And if you do, you're going to deal with a lot of crap. And that's why a lot of you would walk up to me and say, oh, I really appreciate that you speak your mind. And most of the time I would look at you and go, that's not a good thing for me, right? So, it's a message that should be sent, some kitty litter, but, I didn't really expect you guys to actually, as a whole bunch of people go up and show up and do it. Would be good, but, we just got to have fun with it at least. We could talk about it. All right, let's get ready. Hour number 2, Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report is next.
You need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All righty, let's get into it. Talk a little Canes with the man, the myth, the legend that is Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Remember, go to caneswear.com to get the latest on anything with a U on it. You can also get Heat, Panthers, Marlins, Inter Miami, Miami Dolphins. They've got all kinds of stuff there at the store. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping there at caneswear.com. How you doing, Manny? You hanging in there?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
I can't complain, my brother. We just continue to crank out and continue to grow. We're up to 13 insiders now, bro. How about that?
Crazy. It's crazy. Unbelievable job you've been doing getting so many great local people on and people who cover our teams. And man, kudos to you and the success that you've had for so many years. Oh, this is a product of all the years you've put in, not just what you've done the last few.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you and everybody that's joining it. And now we're adding some national guys to kind of round it out and kind of get a little more and add more of the national perspective. Since I think locally we kind of got it covered.
Yeah, kind of, just a little bit.
And there's a couple elements that I'm still working on here to finish it all off. That as you know about it, and I'm still actually working hard to try to finish those things off. We'll do it before the football season starts. I'm pretty sure of that. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Alonzo Highsmith signs finally. It's been talked a lot about.
Worst kept secret, right?
Yeah, worst kept secret. But one of the things that we talked about, because it's kind of been a name that's been associated for a while, and it started back with Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Diaz, we might have had a different way of looking at this addition to the program than we do with Cristobal now. With Diaz, maybe he had to look over his shoulder to see Alonzo Highsmith. But now with Mario Cristobal there, we still know who is in charge and who has the say in the end. This is more about somebody working with Mario, not somebody working above Mario.
Yeah, it's a different animal, this landscape here. This is more about Zoe coming in and really, I would say, helping Mario do all the maniacal things that Mario does when it comes with scouting talent, recruiting talent, and just being sort of, Mario's kind of like three different people, right? When he does his job, he's Mario, the offensive line coach, because he's never going to stop being that guy.
Right.
He's Mario, the head coach, CEO, and then he's Mario, the recruiter. This, I think, takes up maybe half of that third job that Mario likes to wear on his head and do, in the sense that, not that Mario won't be involved, but now he can sort of work hand in hand with Zoe to tackle that job. And Zoe, of course, a guy who's been in the NFL game forever as a scout and then as an executive basically since 2012 with three different teams. So he's got tons of experience. He's got tons of connections. I think the connections is really where Alonzo's strength is going to be. He's been to so many different places, college campuses, obviously to scout talent over the years. And it's not just anymore about recruiting high school talent. It's about recruiting guys on other teams, right? That's what's happened here with the transfer portal. And they'll never come out and say that because it's against the rules to tamper, but certainly you have to keep your eyes open. You have to know who might be leaving a school before they even come close to announcing it. And you have to be first in line in today's college football world to win. And so I think that's where a guy like Alonso, with his connections throughout college football, is going to be such a strength here in this program.
Yeah, and you look at the success in having Alonso there. You talked about players. Any shot that he could also help him with coaches down the line, as you have
Absolutely. Yeah.
defections and promotions, and because you're going to lose coaches, man. That's just part of the game.
Yeah.
It's not just about firing coaches. You hope you never have to fire, but if you're really good and you have success, you're going to lose them because they're going to get promotions and they're going to get their own opportunities, and you're going to have to replace them. And because Zoe's been around, he might be able to help him out in that area too, I think.
No, there's no question about that. And I think, look, Mario's well tapped into the coaching ranks. He obviously has interviewed uh, dozens of people for jobs at Miami here in this last cycle. But Alonso can come at it a different way, with his veteran voice and knowing the NFL and knowing what it takes to get to NFL, helping guys get to the NFL if that's what they want to do. So again, that's another sort of great recruiting tool. I did the research the other day because I was doing something on Kevin Steele. So I looked at the just the defensive coordinators in the SEC from like 2015 to 2020, the years that he was there coaching LSU and Auburn. You talk about the life of coaches, right? How much they move. Steele's the only one that was there for 5 years with the same team. Like every other school, it was like every 2 years, every 3 years, they were changing coordinators in the SEC. And if you're going to run Miami in sort of the same vein, right, you want to be an SEC type program that's playing for championships, playing in big games, winning constantly, then you're going to have the same kind of movement here every single year. The days of Dabo Swinney and his defensive coordinator who went to Oklahoma, like having him for a decade, like I don't think that's going to happen anymore in college football with just how much coaches hate the NIL/transfer portal game. I think a lot of them are going to go to the pros, but B, it's just hard to find guys that want to stick and be sort of a wingman for an elite head coach for a long time. Mario, I think, could do that here. He's got a 10-year contract, so you could probably have a coordinator here for, I don't know, 5 years, the max 5 years. But the guys that he hired right now, Kevin Steele's at the end of his career, and Josh Gad is going to be a head coach somewhere someday. I think Jamil Adai, who's the DB's coach, could potentially move into a coordinator type role soon, if not a head coach as well. So, yeah, you're right. A guy like Zoe gives you an opportunity as Mario builds this thing, right? And the whole thing is to not just, hey, this isn't just about this year, winning this year and getting to the ACC championship. It's about building a perennial title contender. A guy like Zoe is going to come in handy without question as far as being able to recruit other coaches to this program.
Texas A&M. They announced some of the times they got a primetime game, 8:00 for that Texas A&M game.
Yeah.
I like
8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern. I mean, it's crazy. Monday, it's kind of like a Monday Night Football game. But you know what? I saw people complaining on Twitter. I'm like, dude, it's a Saturday night. If you guys can't stay up till 12 or 1:00 in the morning on a Saturday, I mean, give me a break, dude.
What idiot is complaining about having a primetime game, bro?
There,
What are you,
there,
crazy?
there were people complaining that the 9:00 start was too late. I'm like, dude, you guys are all going to be drunk watching that game. Who says they're not going to be watching that game?
Are they 70 years old or something?
Right? Some of these fans, I just think people just like to bitch, right? I mean, that's just what it is, right? They always got to find something to complain about. But yes, I did have people on my timeline saying, when I tweeted out the times yesterday, saying 9:00, really? Oh, I'm going to be exhausted. I'm like, okay, all right. I guess you've never stayed up for a Monday Night Football game before.
Yeah, that doesn't. I love the idea because that gives the Canes a primetime game.
Right.
And I think it's really important, even on the West Coast. While you think it's 9, but over there now it's 6:00, and so at least now you're getting a game, a little more of a primetime game for the West Coast. And Mario has had his connections out on the West Coast, so this is something good where he gets to showcase his team. And dude, somehow or another you're able to beat Texas A&M. That would be one hell of an accomplishment for Mario and the Canes.
Oh, no question. That is the marquee game of the season up until you get to the last two against Clemson and Pitt. And I know everybody will get up for FSU because it's FSU, but
no, the FSU one's not the pinnacle of the year.
Nah, it has been for a long time, brother. You know that. But yeah, I mean, that is the pinnacle of the year, that first game, because that's obviously you get Southern Miss and Bethune at home the first 2 weeks, and those are warm up games. But that game is going to really, in terms of national recruiting, look, Miami's in the race right now for a kid in Texas, a 5-star kid named David Hicks, who lives 30 minutes away from College Station. We know how many elite defensive linemen Texas A&M just signed. That's the kind of kid that if Mario goes out and wins in Texas, wins that game on the road, that's the kind of kid that all of a sudden, wow, you got a top 5 ranked elite recruit in the country who leaves Texas to come to Miami. That's how you swing things and become a real national title contender again. That's how you put the U back, by getting elite kids in Texas A&M's backyard. They came in here last year and did that, right? They took Shamar Stewart. It was such a big story. Texas A&M coming in here. They had the #1 class in the country. You want to flip the script quickly, go and win at Texas A&M, and then pull David Hicks. That's how all of a sudden you put the U back on track.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, outside of that, what else are they up for?
In terms of elite recruits, guys that they're after?
Anything on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of visits June 3rd. I'm going to actually be writing about this kid, Olas Alinen. He's an offensive tackle out of Connecticut, Finland, kid out of Finland, who is one of the first, I think, one of 3 that are visiting the first weekend in June. I was texting with somebody in Miami to try to get the list of all the guys that were coming, but he is without question, I think, the top one. He's a 4-star, ranked 109th in the country, 6'7", 320-pound kid. Really, really good, movement. That's the kind of elite tackle you need to pull in here. Zion Nelson, he's going to get drafted next year. To me, he's one of the top offensive tackles in the country. I think Pro Football Focus has him rated 5th right now in the early projection. So you're going to need to replace him. So there's opportunity here, man. This first season is so important. For Mario, just to get the recruiting back on track. If he's really going to have success here, he's going to have to win over some of these elite national kids that aren't from here, because I think the kids from here aren't going to start coming to Miami again. The elite top kids locally aren't going to be coming to Miami until they see them win. I think with the out-of-state kids and all the connections that Mario's made, you have a better chance in some situations to land those kids over the ones in your own backyard.
So let me ask you: are you fighting people over there at the Athletic to go cover the SEC Media Days on July 18th through 21st?
I'd love to, man. That 3-ring circus around Jimbo and Saban, that's going to be funny. I'm actually.
Hey, I just want to catch Lane on the outside, like just throwing javelins from the outside, just to just javelins with like a ball of fire tied to it, because he's just like igniting it even more. Yeah, just more lighter fluid to the whole situation.
He's just gonna be sitting there sprinkling with lighter fluid the whole time.
I've been to those SEC Media Days several times. I would give anything to go cover the SEC Media Days this year, bro.
Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. It really is.
That'd be awesome, because they're not going to schedule those 2 to show up the same day.
Oh no, not even no.
For those of you that don't know, it's spread out over a couple days, and so they have a certain group of people that will come in every day. So it'll be Georgia, Tennessee, and Southern Miss, and Alabama this week, and then Texas A&M and LSU and Vanderbilt and whatever the next day or whatever. So they'll kind of break it up, and so I'm pretty sure that you won't see Alabama and Texas A&M.
Not on the same day. No,
not at all. Not at all.
It'll be entertaining no matter what. The ACC Media Days haven't been that sexy at all. Although I will say this year with Mario being there, I'm guessing there'll be a lot more interest in the Miami table.
Right. Personally, it'll be fun for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man. Right now, there's real hope now, at least for the Canes. We're hoping now that maybe if they fix the damn offense for the Dolphins, maybe there's some balance now and all that. I mean, that's kind of that's where we're at in the part of the year. We're in the hopeful part of the year right now, and it's a sexy story, man. Cristobal is a sexy story, and also see the thing about the Canes that makes it an even better story there's a lot of method to the madness. You understand that every time they add somebody, it just makes sense. And then they add another good coach and another good coach. And by the way, this thing started kind of shaky because we were going very shaky Rodriguez on this, going, hey, yo, what's going on? They hired the guy, but where's his coaching staff? Well, what coaching staff? And then all of a sudden it exploded. And it was kind of like Dolphin free agency. Dolphin free agency started like kind of with a whimper. And then all of a sudden, Teron Armstead, whoa, Tyreek, what? And so, it's been kind of like that with both programs.
Well, and I would say this. I mean, everybody who came away watching the spring game saying, "Oh, they didn't look that good." It's like I told you right after that. I'm like, how many guys were out this spring that we didn't even see on the field, man? And then all these transfers that they went out and got. Like, to me, the roster's going to look totally different. The roster's going to look so different in the fall. And we'll see that first game, I think, against Bethune-Cookman. I know that it's not a measuring stick, but certainly that first look, you're going to be like, okay, this is a different team. Just the way they block. Oh, I'm telling you, people are going to be like, wow, this is a different level.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're breaking down spring ball, it's the same thing I told some other guy that I saw on Twitter. They had this whole breakdown of several passes a couple days ago of Teddy Bridgewater, and a couple of them weren't very good or whatever. And I'm like, dude, if you're breaking down May football, you need to get laid. you need to get laid, dude.
Yeah, man. There's no doubt.
No blocking, there's no tackling. They're not pressuring anybody. No one's scheming anything. How can you measure anything? What is wrong with you? It's May football, dude.
Yeah. It really is.
I mean, let's go, man. You're not going to get any answers in a spring game. You're not going to get any answers in May football at training camp. Please, dude. What is wrong with you? Relax.
I think from the Canes perspective, the most notable difference you will see that first game is the defensive line, because they went out and they got 5 guys in the transfer portal. You saw the Jake Lichtenstein kid in the spring game. I think he had a fumble recovery, a strip, a deflection. And you were like, oh, that kid's not bad. I think he's the 4th or 5th best guy on the defensive line.
It has to be on both sides of the line, bro. Both sides of the line have to dominate. Yeah. Because when the Canes were great, it's because both sides of the line were dominant, bro. That's just the way, and that's why Alabama dominates you, and Georgia dominates you, and LSU dominates you, and Ohio State dominates you. It's because in the O and the D lines, they got a bunch of badasses in there. And we haven't had a lot of those badasses in so long. They're so few and far between. When it used to be one guy after another, and it used to be like the guy that's backing you up is just as good or better than you, that kind of stuff.
But
and they have to get back to that.
They got real depth on the defensive line now, in my opinion. I think that without question. You say, what did they get better at in the last 6 months since Mario took over? Defensive line, without question. You just haven't seen those guys on the field yet, because more than half of them aren't even here. They're getting here.
I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. More importantly, please subscribe. What are you working on right now at The Athletic, so the folks can subscribe and get on board?
Well, the State of the Program series, which we've been running now for over a month, Miami will be coming out June 4th, a week from today, I guess. And so I'm or June 3rd. I'm actually in the middle of writing that now. I'm supposed to talk to Mario at some point today. And hopefully Alonzo Highsmith as well. So I'm going to have something on those guys. Obviously, the big acquisition, and then recruiting. Like I said, June starts the official visits. There'll be another recruiting story. So a lot going on, man. Just keeping busy as usual.
There you go. Twitter, you see it right there. If not, you're listening on the podcast. Manny_Navarro. Manny, have a fantastic weekend, my friend. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
You too, brother. Take care.
Thank you. That is the great Manny Navarro right there with our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right, we thank Manny as always. For those of you that have asked, and I know that today we made a post on Twitter, displaying all 13 of our insiders and promoting the platform on and links and all that, and I know people have asked here on the chat board too. Where's Joe Shad? For those of you, we talked a little bit about it. Joe is stepped away a little bit for personal issues. Once Joe is back on the horse, we'll get him back on the show. Okay, so he will return eventually. I don't know when. I don't have a set time. I actually went back and forth with Joe today on the text line as we were texting each other today and talking a little bit. And so, just so you'll know, it's not like he's not part of the family. He is still part of the family, but we are awaiting for him to say when he is going to come back, and then we will then work our way to accommodating him back onto the show and get that done. So, just so you'll know, he is taking some time off, but we expect him to return and to join the show. So looking forward to having Joe Shad back on the program. All right. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, for supporting us, Joe, and everybody else here on the program. Wednesday will start Craig Mish. You will have a weekly Marlins and baseball segment on Wednesdays. Also, Matt Verderam from Fansided NFL Reporter will be joining us also on Wednesdays. I've known Matt for several years and does an excellent job. Knows the league very well. It's always a great segment when Matt. Sean knows him well too. He's had him on a few times with me here, and so I'm really really honored to have Matt aboard with RedRecover.com, a proud new sponsor of our program, and also Jordan Schultz, NFL and NBA insider, analyst, newsbreaker. He does the Pull Up podcast with CJ McCollum. He breaks all kinds of NFL stories. He's the one that just recently broke the Melvin Ingram story to the Dolphins. He broke I don't know how many draft stories he broke. He had picks before the picks were announced for several teams. We promoted it during our draft coverage. He didn't beat us to the Dolphins pick. No one beat us because we broke the Channing Tyndall pick in the third round, although I called him Tyndale. But anyway, so we will have Jordan on with us. And the beauty of Jordan is that he's an NFL and NBA insider. So he breaks stories in both leagues, knows players and agents and coaches and assistant coaches in both leagues. So we're going to be able to transition with him through football and basketball all year long. So that's going to be a lot of fun with Jordan Schultz. That all three of them join us on Wednesdays. So think about that. How about that lineup on Wednesday? So we've got Inside the Paint with Ira and Clay from 9 to 10. We've got Ian Rappaport at 10:10. I'm trying to remember the times. I want to say 11 a.m. is Jordan Schultz. I want to say 12:30 is Matt Verderam, and I want to say 1 p.m. is Craig Mish. I'm going off the top of my head. I may have the Verderam and Schultz reversed. In fact, you know what? I have it right here. Yes. Inside the Paint, 9 to 10. Ian Rappaport at 10:10. Verderam at 11. Jordan Schultz at 12:30. And Mish at 1 o'clock. So there you go. Those are the new Wednesdays now. Starts this Wednesday on the 1st. Is that a kick-ass Wednesday or what, dude? We are loving it, baby. And Wilson coming to the Parker Playhouse June 17th. Not bad. $25, man, for tickets. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. All right. Anyway, what else do we have going on the show here? We do want to remind you, Essential Moving Experts, you see it right there, Sean Williams and the boys, they are proud sponsors of our program, and we love Sean and the boys. They are Miami Dolphin fans. As you can see, Sean, his company's colors are aqua and orange. You see the number there, 844-368-5750, folks. And remember, mention my name, Big O. You get $150 off your move, whether it's long moving services, home moving services, long distance moving services, office relocation, and flat rates. Okay, no surprise charges. Hate that stuff, dude. Give me, what's it going to cost? Okay, that's it. That's what you're going to do the job for. Great, that's it. We've agreed on it. And then they, oh no, this, that, no. That's not how it goes with Essential Moving Experts. You got the flat rate. That's it. Done. No surprises. Safe and efficient loading and unloading practices all the time. Sean wouldn't have it any other way, folks. They've got over 1,600 happy customers. 1,600. They've been at this for a while, and obviously they've been making a lot of people happy. Go to the website to make an appointment. Go to essentialmovingexperts.com. If you want to send them an email, go to support@movinghelpdesk.com. Sean Williams is the man. Tell him that Big O sent you. Essentialmovingexperts.com. All right? Squeeze says, some people really don't belong on a golf course. First time I golfed, I don't know what that. Okay. Yeah, all right.
I guess Gesicki and somebody went golfing. And there's a video out of it.
Tua, probably.
No, it was
he goes with
Durham Smythe.
Smythe, yes.
It was with Smythe, yeah.
Yeah,
they don't look good. They said Charles Barkley could beat them.
They're having fun, bro.
Yeah. So that's where that came from.
Go see my golf game, bro. I need Gesicki catching passes down the seam. I need him to catch a fade or 10 of them in the touchdown area. I don't give a shit if he can't golf. I'm good with that. I can't golf either, but I can smoke a cigar and drink a couple of beers while I'm on the course, spraying it all over the place. Does that sound the kind of golf for you? That's good golfing right there? Yeah, but you're not really much of a beer drinker.
No, I'm not.
You're going to have the Edge energy drink is what you're going to do.
Yeah, but also they say golf is like a sport where you can really, I get more stressed out on the golf course when I play.
Oh, because you take it serious.
I don't take it serious. I just suck so bad. It's like, come on.
Right. But it's really hard.
You would think so. But I play on golf courses that are not even, look, they're wide open. So I could tee off at 1, land on 18, and still play back to 1. It's not like I'm hitting in the trees and stuff.
I know, but it's a hard game, bro. It's a hard game.
It's not. You take the golf ball, you put it down, you pick up the stick with a metal end, you swing it as hard as you can. The ball flies, it lands on the grass, it rolls around a little bit. Then you do it again.
Sounds like you're pretty good because mine, I missed. I sliced it.
I don't miss. I slice it and I hit it everywhere. I don't go to any more no more courses with water either.
Or
at least water where I can't get to the ball.
No, but I have to go to those kind of courses because that's where they have the good stuff.
Yeah, but see, you're hoity-toity golf. I'm playing at the community centers. I'm hitting out of bunkers.
I want to have some.
I'm hitting out of bunkers on the fairway.
I want to have some fun, bro.
That's what.
Plus, I have some views too at the same time. It's always good to have some views. I just want to go. I want to go golfing where Paige Sporanic goes golfing. That's all. That's all I want to do. What is this baseball you speak of? Is it like soccer and hockey you sometimes mention? Yes, it is. Just like it. Chad says, I've been working on my golf game, been shooting 100 the last month, trying to break into the 90s. It's pretty good. The more relaxed you are, the less power you out, the further it goes. The club does the work, not the muscles. That's it. Yeah, Sean's all muscles. That's the problem. When you're all muscles, you're all muscles. You can't do anything about that. And by the way, it's all the Edge energy drink too. He's just, ready to go.
Yeah.
He goes to myedgedrink.com, use the code Big O, get 10% off. It's a beautiful thing. Have you tried Edge energy drink, by the way? Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste. What the hell is wrong with you people? Check it out. myedgedrink.com. I promise you, what a great energy drink that is. So, Sean will be loaded up with that energy drink on the golf course.
100%. I've only been banned from one golf course.
Which one?
I don't know the name of it.
What'd you do? Get nude?
No, I hit a home.
Oh, you hit a home.
Yeah.
You broke the window?
I did.
They kick you off for that when it's like a mistake?
Well, it was.
Or did they realize
I was
that
an
you sucked
invited
so much
guest.
you were a danger?
I was an invited guest, so it's just recommended that I not show back up.
Oh, so it was a whole.
It was strongly recommended I finish the last 2 holes and not show back up.
That's why you don't want to go to the hoi polloi, because they have houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't pay for any more windows.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Squeeze says, I break windows and hit cars. I'm done. That's it. Drop a like for Big O. Yes, please. Drop the likes there while you're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, please. Por favor. All right. What else do we have here to talk about on Le Programme? Oh, by the way, I cannot wait. I'm going to watch it this weekend. Obi-Wan Kenobi is out on Disney Disney Channel, that is, Disney platform or whatever. Disney Plus, right, exactly. That's it. They've got the first 2 episodes up. They started last night at 9:00 Eastern. They actually aired it 3 hours earlier. They were going to start at midnight, but they said, hey, you know what? We feel generous. We're going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern. And so yesterday, people already started seeing Obi-Wan. Anybody on the chat board right now, have you seen Obi-Wan 1 or 2 episodes? And give me, don't tell me anything about it. Just give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down on it. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
A lot of stuff coming out this week. I go on Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. In the summer too, man.
You got Obi-Wan, you got Top Gun, and then Stranger Things. I only know that because my daughter would.
My daughter loves Stranger Things. Yes.
They released that one at 3:00 this morning.
Is that like a movie or the new season?
The new season is out.
Okay.
Now,
I don't watch it, but I know.
Yeah, I only know because my daughter set her alarm for 3 a.m. so that she could wake up to watch.
Yeah. No, my daughter watches Stranger Things. She's got sweaters and T-shirts and all that stuff.
Kudos to her. She went to school too.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Let's see. What else do we have? Marvin Hodgson says, today's my birthday. Marvin, happy birthday, my brother. I hope you have a fantastic day, a perfect day. That's what I hope you have, sir, and be safe and enjoy it. And you can drink now, Marvin. You are now 21 years old, dude. There you go. Just drink responsibly. Stay home. Download the Liquor Split app. Don't even drive. Just have it delivered. It's a beautiful thing, bro. Order a little Edge energy drink on Liquor Split. All of those things. It's awesome. All right, let's get ready for Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
There he is. We are ready to go. The man, the myth, the legend that is Omar Kelly. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. There we go. We woke him up. He just realized, hey.
I've been working. I did sleep in late today. I slept till 9:30 because my parents have my daughter, so no early morning rise because of a 14-year-old. So I went and slept in the guest bedroom. So my wife, who gets up at 6 a.m. to go to her hospital at 7 o'clock. So I got to sleep until 9:30 and it felt good.
What's the real story? Why'd they kick you out of the bedroom?
No. Sometimes sometimes.
Sometimes she's just tired of your ass and kicks you out, right? That's what it is. It's like two
You know
fans.
what it is? I actually like to watch television at night because she works up so early. Sometimes we'll sleep in separate bedrooms. I mean, but we still get it in. Sometimes I'll sneak into the other bedroom and still get it in. Now, don't think I won't.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying. I mean,
But
I don't
it's
know.
one of
I
them
don't know where
'cause
you're at right now with your relationship because they're kicking you out of the bedroom now. I mean, it's not good, bro.
we snuggle and cuddle, and then sometimes we'll go to a separate bedroom too. Some I don't. I'm a late. To watch an NBA game like the Western Conference Finals, like she wants to sleep.
Right.
I
I
want to
got
watch the game.
I got you, man.
Feeling
I
like
feel you.
I hate. She says it's funny. She says this line to me that I absolutely hate because it feels like my parents. She goes, "Time for bed." It's like put somebody putting you to bedtime. It's like
Right.
she's like 10 o'clock and she's like, "Time for bed," and I'm like, I don't want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Like,
That is awesome. I love that. Before I get into any Dolphins talk, and I know you guys got to talk to him on I Am Athlete on Kaepernick, and he's got that workout with the Raiders.
yeah.
And I still find this kind of a PR thing. I still kind of find it like maybe this is Mark Davis kind of maybe just wanting to be a little bit of a pain in the ass to the league.
They are the
It,
Renegades. The Raiders
yeah,
are the Renegades. But
yeah,
here's the
yeah,
thing: why,
yeah. But
if you're doing this
McDaniel
just to
doesn't.
piss off the
McDaniel,
NFL,
yeah,
is
but
the NFL still boycotting him?
well, here's the thing, and McDaniel doesn't want any part of this.
No, I don't think
Where
that's true.
he comes from, he's not gonna want. But
He drafted Tebow in the first round, bro. Don't claim like
I know, and he had to have learned his lesson already at that point. But of the polarization of it is what I mean, actually, not whether because Kaepernick can play way better than Tebow ever could. Let's separate the two there on the playing side.
Yeah, but I think he likes that style. I think he
No,
likes that
I,
style.
I totally understand that, but let's get it.
It presents the defense as something that they also have to prepare for, which takes up practice time.
But let's get honest now. Let's get brutally honest. Let's talk football. Let's talk real X's and O's. Omar, you've been away from the game for 5 years, bro. You got to be a moron of a franchise to put your franchise in those hands when a guy has not played for 5 years.
Totally disagree with you, and here's why.
Okay,
one,
you could disagree with me, but that's fine. But I think it's incredibly. Hold up, but let me finish.
Okay.
So a guy that hasn't played for 5 years, has not prepared for any game, has not played at a high level for 5 years. He is not used to practicing at game speeds. He's not used to seeing game speed. This is not something that he will easily adjust to. And after being away for 5 years, a workout and a couple of throws is nothing compared to actually preparing for games. And the way McDaniel prepares for games, with the way the New England Patriots prepare for games, that it's situationally, that it changes so much from week to week, I think it becomes impossible to ask that guy to make that transition. Plus, I think any franchise that brings that guy in to make him a number 2 is incredibly irresponsible because you're one hit away from putting a guy that hasn't played for 5 years, hasn't seen a pass rush for 5 years in the middle of game speed in the NFL. I think it would be a tragic mistake. If you want to make him a 3, to make him, give him another year or a year and a half to kind of get acclimated to all of it, then maybe. But if you're going to be stupid enough to make him a number 2, I think it's an incredibly dumb mistake by anybody that does it. The floor is yours, sir.
First, I find it offensive that you refer to him as that guy. He's not that guy. He's Colin Kaepernick, and he's a hero to many, and including myself, for what he stood for.
Did he stand for anything? Because he kind of hit away in the background. Hit away in the background. That's what he did.
I've seen him throw. I've seen him run and work out for 2 hours. He's a gym rat, so he's the last guy off the field, and that has been consistent since I watched him practice with Bomarito before he was drafted. Arm, top 10 in terms of strength, velocity, throw. Now, he can't throw it touch, or I haven't seen it. Part of that reason is because he doesn't have chemistry with any of these people that he's worked with. Maybe after a month of practicing with individuals where he knows where they are as a wide receiver and a route runner, that could change. But he throws, he's like, I compare it to a closer who throws a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And maybe he's got a changeup, but there aren't only 2 pitches. There's no slider, there's no curve, there's no movement. So yes.
Mark Wallers. Not that you would actually know what the hell I'm talking about.
No. So that's an issue. Athleticism. So I actually counted up and looked up every backup quarterback in the NFL, and this is more for I Am Athlete. I had a nice heated debate with Shady McCoy about this. I looked up, counted up, added up every single athlete that's playing quarterback in the NFL right now, and there should be 96 on NFL rosters. Colin Kaepernick, this was before the rookies came in, the rookie class, which we all know is not a good rookie quarterback class.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick, I would put as the 44th best quarterback in the NFL right now. Now, my whole point and argument and concern about where Colin Kaepernick is and where the NFL is in blackballing him is, if you are a top 50 quarterback in the NFL, there's no excuse why you shouldn't be on an NFL roster. He has been for 5 years. That's fine. We know why they were blackballing him. But here's the argument that I have about these workouts. And I thank Oakland because they're the first to sort of open the door of Pandora's box and then realize there isn't the boogeyman hiding behind the closet who's going to come attack you if you work him out.
Oh, by the way, before the chat board starts, hey, Omar, it's Vegas, okay? You said Oakland. It's Vegas, okay? You said Oakland. Stop it. Okay?
My bad. Here's so now that Vegas has shown you there is no boogeyman, there's nobody going to protest and picket. More teams should look at him. Teams try out guys every Tuesday. They bring in a ton of players to try them out. And they need quarterbacks to throw to these guys. Why wouldn't you just say, hey, Colin, how about you come in and throw to these wide receivers in these backs and we take a look at you as well? Why wouldn't you do that? Then, on top of that, like when Tua was out with his illness last week, I can tell you at the end of practice, these quarterbacks were on fumes, throwing 200 passes a practice. Like, because there are only 3 on the Dolphins roster, you need 4 quarterbacks for a training camp. I remember the time something happened to one of the quarterbacks and the Dolphins had to sign Brady Quinn, who was trash. And you always need a 4th quarterback, especially early in training camp. Why isn't Colin Kaepernick at least the team's 4th quarterback? You're just
let me answer that for you.
Hold on, let me finish my point. The final point that I will make is, if the NFL truly, genuinely just wants Colin Kaepernick to go away, just wants this to be over, just wants to say to the world, okay, we don't have a hatred for him. We're not blackballing him still. We did blackball him. We paid him off to go away. He's clearly not going to go away. Why wouldn't a team just sign him? Have him as the number 3 quarterback? Don't even give him fair opportunity. And then at the end of training camp, cut him and say, hey, we tried. He was okay. It's over. And
did you watch the Josh McDaniel press conference?
Yeah. I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw the Colin Kaepernick portion of it.
And they were already asking him about Derek Carr.
No. Yeah, but Derek Carr's an established leader. So this is
but dude, that's not the point, Omar. Josh McDaniel knows that Derek Carr is the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, Devontae Adams knows that he's the quarterback. Everybody in the no. You have a whole bunch of idiot media members that don't look at it that way. And the first second that he has a
bad throw or a mediocre game, they're going to be calling for him, just like they did with Tebow. And Tebow wasn't good enough to play, and nobody understood that. That was in that Tebow camp. But the problem with Kaepernick is that you're going to have the polarization because of who he is and what he did. It already will come with it automatically, whether he likes it or not. He started that fire, and that fire has not been put out. And it's not ever going to be put out, and that's why he will not be on any NFL roster. Only the Raiders will try to do that because Mark Davis will want to be indifferent from the NFL. It's not because Josh McDaniel will want this. I am pretty damn sure this is not a Josh McDaniel concoction, because if you watch that press conference, you can tell he was a little perturbed about all of this crap in a way. Hell, the players didn't even know anything about the workout. They were like, I don't know anything about this. So
they never know anything about workout. Don't do that. Players never know anything about any workout.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The media was treating it.
The Raiders have a good backup quarterback situation. They don't.
But you see, the part you're glossing over, or you're not paying attention to me, is the media was asking the players like he was a part of all of this, like they knew and all that. They don't understand that the organization brings in a couple of schmucks every week just to work out. They don't. No, the national media will not know that, Omar. They will go in with it.
They understand it.
They will go in with it.
It's not that complicated. It's really truly not that complicated.
I actually think you're not.
I am the media. I'm the guy who's there every day.
No, you're not the media.
It's a 2-day story.
You're not the media that I'm talking about, my brother. You're the hardcore football media. I'm talking about Good Morning America. I'm talking about your local news.
Colin Kaepernick is a 2-day story.
They don't follow your lead when they walk into that press conference. They all have their own agenda, and they take over and they start talking about protests.
Kaepernick is a 2-day story. If he signed somewhere, he's a 2-day story. If he starts to play well, then he's a much more complicated story.
He'll never play well. He's a backup.
Okay.
You understand that? He'll never play well because he's a backup and they won't see him. But the media that will come in will try to stir it up. And the second your starter has any kind of just a shakiness, doesn't matter if he's established, if you have a Tebow, if you have a Kaepernick, it becomes so polarizing.
So signs Colin Kaepernick right now. They got drama if Tom Brady.
Yes.
No, they don't. That's ridiculous. I think your comment and statement on this is ridiculous.
You're naive as hell to believe that, my brother.
I think it's ridiculous. Derek Carr is an established NFL starter. That is his team. There is no question about it. I actually don't think the Raiders are a good spot for him because I would like Colin Kaepernick to have a legit shot.
Dude, up until the guy that left because of the dirty emails, that guy was up in the air every moment of every day. Derek Carr.
No.
What? What'd you say? Did you just say that Derek Carr was not talked about as a trade option while Gruden was there? Oh,
but,
okay.
No, he was hot, but he just got re-upped. And
I just told you that just this past season, after that guy exited, that's when Derek Carr kind of settled in, and then it's kind of been. But up until that point, he was, and you bring Kaepernick in a situation
these NFL
like
teams
that,
got wandering eyes when it comes to quarterbacks.
I think you're not looking at the news side of it that takes over, not the sports of it, not the hardcore.
As somebody who's covered it on two different levels from a news side, trust me. One, people are having Colin Kaepernick exhaustion, and that was 5 years ago. The landscape has changed. I think Colin Kaepernick wants a pretty bow on the end of his story, and that means finally getting an opportunity to actually compete and try to make an NFL team. Just so you know, there were 3 teams two of them who drafted quarterbacks who contacted me privately about getting an opportunity to look at the unedited version of I Am Athlete. There are teams that are interested. There are teams that are absolutely interested and curious. They just worry about the media backlash. They worry about people protesting. They want to know.
I just told. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
But that's the only thing that's stopping them. It's not the talent.
But that's what
that's the only thing that's stopping them. It's not
what
the
did
talent.
What did I just tell? What did I just tell you? Why he won't be on a roster, dude?
My
you
point
can't
is,
have your second or third quarterback creating a stir over your first quarterback.
It's a 2-day story.
No, it's not.
I'm the media. I create the narrative.
It's not a 2-day
story. 2-day story.
I'll give you an example. Do the Dolphins and the Raiders play this year? I think they do, right? Do they? Yeah, I think they do, right? All right, so Dolphins Raiders play that week. Okay? What storylines are coming up for Dolphins Raiders?
Nobody cares if Colin Kaepernick's kneeling. From my perspective.
No, not kneeling. What else is there?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know because you're not Cuban, so it didn't hurt you.
Oh, who gives a anyway? Let me.
Oh, so you don't give a shit that he wore a Fidel Castro shirt? So
I didn't say that.
No, you just said that right now.
Why is that even relevant?
Oh, because you're not Cuban. That's why it's not relevant to you.
Okay.
So
and technically, I am Cuban.
By the way, Omar, that's
my mother is half Cuban.
That's the biggest sign of ignorance by Kaepernick. You can't talk about injustice against
I'm
one
not
people,
and you wore a shirt 6 years ago as
my brother. That's not going to ever die. He's done here.
No, nobody but
in this
Miami
part of the
cares
in
about
this
that.
part of the country.
Nobody but Miami cares about that, and a small percentage of Miami.
Well, that's a storyline the Raiders are going to have to deal with.
No, if the Raiders sign Kaepernick, I promise you, not one word about wear a Cuba shirt, wear a Castro shirt.
Oh, for sure, it'll come on the Dolphins Raiders game.
No,
guaranteed.
I promise you it won't.
Guaranteed.
I promise you it won't.
In other places,
I promise you it won't. As somebody who actually writes the stories and knows the people who write the stories, that's not an important narrative. Maybe an important narrative to you.
It's not important to you. You don't work for the paper that they will tell you to write that story. That's the problem. And you're not the reporter that they would handle, that would tell you to write that story, because you would not be the proper person to write that story. So they would find somebody in the paper, guaranteed.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
This is what
I don't know how you're.
This is what I keep telling you. This is what you keep overlooking, that news takes over when he takes over. When Kaepernick comes to your town, the news.
You think some news crew is going to send out a person? I promise you that won't happen.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you they will poke and prod the bear.
That's not a storyline, Big O. Sorry.
Go ahead, Sean.
That's a storyline for you.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
It's not a storyline.
Well, it's not a storyline for you, but it would be a storyline.
No, it's a storyline for you. It's not a storyline for the game.
It's part of what comes with him. Pigs and socks. It's stuff that comes with him. He cannot lay it down, bro. It's not. He's never going to live all of that down, ever. None of that. He has to stand by that stuff, and people will go after him. That's why I told you he is polarizing.
You realize if he signed with whatever team, you realize that he have one of the top 5 highest selling jerseys in the NFL, whatever team he signs with, right?
And a cup of coffee gets you what?
It's the same thing a Castro shirt gets me, nothing. And
but the Castro shirt is a whole lot of insult.
So are we going to be writing stories about having a top selling jersey? Or are we going to be writing stories about which one are we writing stories about first?
They're going to write about
which
all
one
of
are we
them.
writing stories about?
They're going to write about all of them, dude.
Which one are we writing stories about first?
That's the part you're not letting go the polarization of it.
Okay, and I don't care about the polarization part. Can he play football or not? This is what it's about. To you,
by the way,
August and the clicks and the radio ratings. It's not about that. It's about
20,
can he play football or not.
By the way, Raiders and Dolphins, August 20 at Hard Rock Stadium. So that means Kaepernick would play that game.
August 20th?
Because it's a preseason game.
Yeah, no, yeah. Actually, yeah. Are they doing a joint practice with them? Like, I don't.
I don't know, but he better not take the podium that day. That's all I'm saying.
Bro.
He better not take the podium that day.
You have this Kaepernick. If Kaepernick is re-signed,
yeah,
it's a
circus. It's a circus. It's a
for how many
monster
days?
circus.
For how many days?
Every single day of every single moment he's on your team.
How many days?
Are you listening to me?
You're ridiculously insane and completely inaccurate.
Okay, well, I saw it
as the person who's there on a daily basis, wherever it is. If the Dolphins sign him as a number 4 quarterback right now,
Omar, he's like that right now, and he's not on a team.
No, he's not. If the Dolphins sign Kaepernick as a number 4 quarterback right now, let's walk this through. Let's walk it through.
Oh no, that you don't. Not the Dolphins. Are you crazy? Half the fan base hates Tua. Half the media like you doesn't believe in Tua.
I'm telling you, as a
from now, you'll be writing Kaepernick taking his job. You'll be writing that he's taking his job in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, this is not a good spot. But as a Dolphins media member who covers the team, if the Dolphins signed Colin Kaepernick as a camp arm, a practice squad quarterback, it would be at the most, and I'm saying the absolute most, a week's worth of stories. And then we move on with our life.
You are so naive.
Until he goes out there and performs, and let's assume he shows you that he's a baller still.
It'll be the same as Tebow. He won't play. He'll be behind the scenes.
Tebow wasn't even a story in Jacksonville.
And everybody will ask about Kaepernick.
Tebow wasn't even a story in Jacksonville.
Constantly, all the teammates will be asked about Kaepernick, and he's the third stringer.
And
nobody ever asks about a third stringer.
You ask about Tua, and they don't answer those questions either.
No, Tua's your starting quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback. He's the number 5 overall pick.
We ask about Tua, they don't answer those questions, so they won't answer Kaepernick.
Kaepernick is just like Tebow. He would be your third stringer, and everybody would be asking about him, and he doesn't even come close to playing. But yet everybody all week long would be asking about Kaepernick. That's the reality, my brother.
That's not. I'm there. Yeah,
wow,
that's not.
No, you're not. You're there, but you're not there. Actually, you're not really picking up on it. You're not, dude. Deshaun Watson wasn't on the team, and they were asking about him every day. Omar, what the hell are you talking about?
Deshaun Watson got $200 and something million in the guarantee.
What rock do you live under, bro? Tim Tebow, they couldn't stop asking about him. Deshaun Watson, they can't stop asking about him. Colin Kaepernick, they can't stop asking about him. Dude, wake up, bro. Wake up. They don't even have to be on your team.
They stopped talking about Tim Tebow.
They don't have to be on your team to ask about them.
Okay.
What is wrong with you, bro? The whole league had to answer Deshaun Watson questions. This team here
had
to
answer Deshaun Watson.
All of you guys were asking Deshaun Watson questions constantly, and he wasn't on your team. And when he gets on, like he is on Cleveland now, he's polarizing. He's polarizing to everybody.
Are not the same thing.
It's all the same thing. It's different polarizations, but it is polarization. Tebow's polarization is different than Kaepernick's, and is different than Deshaun's. But they're all polarizations.
You realize that, right?
No, they never stopped.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. They never stopped. They never stopped asking Tebow questions ever.
They did.
No,
he didn't become. He wasn't a story after 2 weeks.
No, you are wrong. What's it called? Rex Ryan had to answer questions every week about the guy until they finally released him because they were tired of the polarization, my man. Go back and look at the history. You're missing the history, my man. And you are naive as hell to think that if Kaepernick comes back, he's not polarizing just like Deshaun Watson or Tebow, dude.
If you're worried about, and I say this, and I've always consistently said this. If you're worried about the media as an organization and scared of what the media is going to be asked about and worried about the media creating a distraction, you're just a weak-minded organization and you got no chance to begin with. I promise you, I'm not that scary.
Distractions. You covered these guys enough. They don't want you asking about things that are irrelevant.
My attention span is very short. I'm the media. I'm not the boogeyman. I'm
No, I
not
get that.
scared.
I get that.
So, and I can tell you, my attention span is extremely short, and it moves. And just like my peers, it's not that monumental of a story, Big O. Sorry, I know you think it is, but it's not. It's not anymore. And I can tell you that because the first time he actually spoke, people checked out.
Omar, if it wasn't a story, he'd be in the league.
No, if he wasn't being blackballed.
No, that's why. If it wasn't a story, he wouldn't have been blackballed. If he's not a distraction, he wouldn't have been blackballed.
Let me ask you a question. Is he part of the news cycle today? I don't think so.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. It had part of the news cycle today.
It had a 2-day
It's all over the news cycle today, right now.
He had I don't see it on the national on the national.
Oh, well, I guess you're not. Did you not watch it on NFL Network? Like I saw it on NFL Network and I saw it on ESPN.
Okay, so it's a 3-day.
Go look at Pro Football Talk. It's on there.
Let's put money on it. Let's put money on it.
Money on what?
If they're talking about him on Tuesday, because it's no, and let's put it Wednesday because it's a slow news cycle. We're gonna have nothing because no teams are gonna be participating in any activity, so they might carry it over to Memorial Day weekend. So if you were talking about it on Wednesday, a week later, I got $50 on it.
We're talking about it 5 years later, Omar.
Well, let's put money on it.
It's
Wednesday.
5 years. Let's put money on it. If somebody signs him, you'll see it's polarizing. That I would love to take your money.
It'll be polarizing.
Because I don't know if there's another team that's stupid enough to bring him in for a workout. Like I know the Raiders are stupid enough.
Why are they stupid? Why are they stupid?
Because it's stupid. The guy hasn't played in 5 years.
Their quarterbacks are trash.
Why would I want to bring anybody in 5 years later?
Backup quarterback situation.
I wouldn't bring in a guy that hasn't played in 5 years and is going to be polarizing. And if he's going to be my backup quarterback when I already have a franchise quarterback in Derek Carr, and then I got a whole bunch of people answering questions about a guy that's a third-string quarterback. That makes no sense.
You have a loser's mentality.
That's a distraction. They don't want that. I'm telling you.
You have a loser's mentality.
It's not that.
Season's over. Season's over when Derek Carr gets hurt. Okay, loser's mentality. How about the backup?
My brother, you actually think Kaepernick's going to bail you out?
Yeah,
really?
I actually do.
Seriously?
Yeah,
seriously.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay,
he took a team to the Super Bowl. He's still got elite athleticism.
Yeah. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, my brother. So he's better. Okay? Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl.
That's a good.
So
that's a good backup.
Sucks Brad Johnson's ass. Okay? Kaepernick sucks Nick Foles' ass. He won a Super Bowl. What does that mean, bro?
No,
what does that mean? That he won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, dude.
You're absolutely right.
Kaepernick couldn't win a Super Bowl that Trent Dilfer won. What does that mean?
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so please don't use a mediocre to average quarterback that rides a hell of a team to a plateau.
But I would sign Nick Foles before I sign Kaepernick. But for those teams like the Las Vegas Raiders who have bad quarterback situations, you better upgrade that because you're one hit away from your season being trashed because you have no quality backup.
Deshaun Watson could be a rapist, and they're dying to give him a starting job. Kaepernick, all he did was kneel, and they're not giving him a starting job. If they thought he was that stud, they would give him that job. Think about that. There's a guy that has like 20 accusations. He allegedly could have raped 1 or 2 or 3 of them. And yet they're lining up to give him a job and trade for him and trade everything. Meanwhile, Kaepernick, who just kneeled, will bring us some heat, just like Deshaun, but they're not willing to ever give him a job. So at no point did anybody look at Kaepernick and say, my God, that's a franchise quarterback that's sitting on the sidelines.
No, nobody's saying that he's a franchise quarterback. What we're saying is he deserves to get
and that's what I'm telling you. If he's not a franchise quarterback, why are you going to put up with all the garbage that comes with it?
Because it's not garbage, and it's make-believe, and it's in your head. And
You're not the team. You're not the owner. You don't have to deal with the PR nightmare. You don't have to deal with the sponsors
What PR
that you might piss
nightmare? I'm
off.
not the boogeyman.
You don't have to deal with the expensive
I'm not
season
the
ticket
boogeyman.
holders that you may have a couple of suite holders and all that that say, hey, how can you sign this guy? I don't want this. And you don't have to deal with
The
any of that.
big boogeyman
All
is
you have to
keeping
do is sit
Kaepernick
at
out
home
the
and write a
NFL.
story. It doesn't affect your world. It affects their world.
Oh, it affects my world. The big
No, it
boogeyman is
doesn't.
keeping Kaepernick out the NFL. Okay. And they're paying him to go away, paying him millions of dollars to go away. Cool. I get it.
I mean, if he was actually as good as anybody thought he would be, then he would be playing in the
That's
league.
not what it's about. And you continue to distort it by saying that.
But that's why I'm telling
Does
you.
does he have
that
answer
the
the question? Yes or
distraction
no?
is not worth
Are
the
you certain
talent.
that he doesn't have the talent to be a top 50 quarterback in the NFL?
No. I'm concerned if
Yes
I'm a
or
team
no?
that
If
I'm
you don't know
I'm telling
the
you.
answer,
I'm
you
answering
should
it.
look.
I'm answering it. I'm telling you, the team is saying the distraction is not worth the talent. He's not talented enough to put up with the bull crap.
All right.
That's the bottom line, Omar. That's the part you're not understanding. If he was talented enough, look at Deshaun Watson. He could be a rapist, and they're giving him a job. They're handing him an entire franchise. They gave him guaranteed money. This league is as ruthless as it gets. I forgot who said it, but somebody once said they'd sign Charles Manson if he could score touchdowns. And that's what this league would do. They would sign anyone that'll do anything. They don't care. So clearly Kaepernick's talent does not outweigh.
Nobody has seen him. Nobody has seen him really work in a football setting, so they can't say that.
So why would you take a chance after 5 years?
I've seen him work, and I can tell you he's better than majority of the
around in
NFL.
shorts, dude. Running around in shorts doesn't
What
mean
do you think? What do you think I watch? What do you think I watch all offseason?
There's no pass rush. There's no nothing.
What do you think I watch all
in the
offseason?
offseason means
What do you think
nothing,
OTAs
Omar.
are? What do you think OTAs are?
It means nothing until you put pads on and you start
Okay,
hitting.
so
dude.
I'm watching nothing. When I go to mini camp next week Tuesday, we got to
Nothing.
reschedule our day, by the way.
You're watching installs. You're watching mental reps. You're not watching anything until we get to training camp and preseason when you start to hit some.
I watch him do the same thing that I'm watching the Dolphins do once a week. So it's nothing?
Yeah, you're drinking the Kool-Aid is what
No, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I can see
no,
it.
you're chugging it.
I've done this for 20 years. I can look at a quarterback and see ability. He's still got I'll be conservative. Top 20 arm in the NFL. Easy money. Top 20 arm.
Okay.
Right now.
Arm doesn't mean you're a quarterback.
You're absolutely correct. And I'm curious to see what happens when he actually has time to digest the playbook, learn some chemistry with players, develop some camaraderie with his team. I'm curious to see what happens 5 years after he's been out the game. I'm curious. I want to know.
He's in his 30s and he's a backup.
Teams would want to know. They play
best.
till their 40s. Quarterbacks play till they're 40.
I know, but what future can he possibly have at this point?
He can help a team. Actually, he can help a team prepare for an opponent like Lamar Jackson.
He can help when he hasn't been watching or preparing for defenses for 5 years.
You think practice squad guys watch or prepare their own offense?
I don't want Jacoby. I don't want Jacoby Brissett
They hold up
preparing
a
for
sheet of paper and say, "This is the play we're going to run. Okay, guys, run it."
Yeah,
that's what practice squad guys do.
Yeah,
he can help a team prepare as a practice squad player.
At this point, he can't be trusted with anything. He's been out of football for 5 years. 5 years. You cannot put any responsibility on him after 5 years of no action whatsoever.
The whole point is, should he have a tryout? Yes. Should he likely be on a 53 on a training camp 90-man roster? Yes. Does he have to make the team? No. But if he's not tried out or teams have brought him in, they bring in guys every Tuesday to look at. Why hasn't a team that has a quarterback need just brought him in to look at him? Well, one finally did. They realized there's no boogeyman hiding in the closet ready to attack you. Now the question is another team going to do it? And I honestly think that there is going to be another team that does it. And I give props to them because they have conviction about, hey, this is about football, not about all the peripheral crap that you want to talk about, Castro and pig socks and like, is it about football or isn't it? If you want to hire a rapist,
there's a lot more to it, unfortunately, because he's brought more than football to it.
Okay,
and it's Omar, dude. He started the fire, bro.
It's still the boogeyman.
You don't get to cast it aside. I'm just telling you what the reality is. That's the reality he lives in, and he will always live in. That's his reality, Omar. Whether you like it or not,
just like Jackie Robinson was, and just like Muhammad Ali was.
No, actually, the difference is that Jackie Robinson actually was in the middle of the fight.
Okay.
He wasn't. He hid behind the scenes.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, you don't want to get in that one with me.
No, I can get in that one.
Martin Luther King actually stood up for his rights, and so did Rosa Parks. He did not. He hid like a wuss. Everybody else was fighting his fight.
That's not accurate.
He wasn't at any police department after there was a shooting.
You don't know what he did.
He's nowhere. Was he in Buffalo?
You have no idea.
Did he go to Buffalo? Did he go to Buffalo?
No idea.
Is he there to fight the fight?
I
know. He was writing from his bank account something that Nike gave him to give it a charity. I know he's written all that, but he's not in the fight. Jackie Robinson fought the fight, bro.
Do you know the work that he does? You don't.
No, I know. I don't see him anywhere.
He doesn't make it public.
I don't see him anywhere.
The reason that he doesn't make it public.
Hey, listen, if you're going to fight for a nuclear power plant, you need to tie yourself to the fence. That's just the way they do it, bro. If you're going to fight for your cause, you're in the middle. That's what I'm used to.
You don't.
I know. You're not used to activists actually really sacrificing.
Okay,
but I am. I'm actually used to watching all activists in everything sacrifice.
Now we're judging his activism, right? That's what
I judge that.
You're judging
hey, listen. I judge.
You have no knowledge of his.
I judge that coward at every level.
Anything that he does. You have zero knowledge of anything that he does.
He's a coward. He's a coward as an activist. And he's a coward as an athlete. Okay.
You have no knowledge of anything.
If he had any balls, he would have gone to the CFL like Warren Moon and prove everybody wrong. But he didn't because he doesn't have balls.
I'm not even going to entertain that ridiculous conversation.
No, you can't. You can't battle with me on that one.
I'm not even going to entertain that ridiculous conversation. He should probably play for USFL too.
Tim Wake did it. Mark Dixon did it. Lots of
just
players
to prove to you that he wants to play.
And they proved the NFL wrong. And they forced the NFL to take him back.
I'm not even going to entertain that conversation because I thought it was ridiculous when you made it a month ago.
I know.
It's ridiculous now.
I know because
and so do my peers, by the way. They all think it's ridiculous too.
Because you have no argument to it.
No, because you have no argument.
You can't argue.
It's a ludicrous, ridiculous comment.
You can't argue.
And an old, outdated viewpoint.
He's a quitter. He's a quitter, bro.
Okay. He's a quitter. He's not a social activist. He's about the weakest. While you have no knowledge of anything that he's doing. Zero knowledge. Tell me one thing he's doing.
No, I've read about all the checks.
Tell me one thing you know he's doing.
I've read about all the checks.
Tell me one thing you know he's doing. Zero.
Nothing.
You have no knowledge.
I don't see him as an activist
because
anywhere.
He doesn't want you to see him as an activist. He doesn't work behind the scenes.
He was in
Buffalo. He does.
He was in Buffalo.
And the purpose of him doing his activism behind the scenes
was he in Buffalo?
Just to address the narrative that people like you will say that he's going to be a distraction when he comes out. He said specifically, I do my work behind the scenes just so that people can't say that my work is a distraction.
I know. Thank God Muhammad Ali didn't do it behind the scenes, bro. Thank God. Thank God for real activism. Thank God for real activism.
Only people who have activism like Muhammad Ali are true activists.
That's what I'm used to, bro. I'm used to activism actually like.
So name me somebody who's done it like Muhammad Ali in the last 5 years.
Everybody's done it that way.
Nobody.
Omar, don't you see them all protesting? They're out in public. Those people did a lot more than Kaepernick ever did, bro.
So name the people who protested in Buffalo.
What do you mean the people have protested in Buffalo? They're there now, actually, after.
Name them.
I don't know them personally, but there's activism going on in Buffalo.
No, but you
right
say
now.
there's activism and people are doing it. So
I don't know those
Colin
people.
Kaepernick needs
I don't
to go lead a
know
march
them
in Buffalo
personally.
for you to feel he's an activist.
But don't tell me there isn't, because there are people there.
No. Colin Kaepernick needs to go lead a march in Buffalo about police shootings.
Hey, listen,
which isn't even his crusade.
I would like to see him. I would like to see him lead a parade
Gun
march.
policy, which isn't even his crusade. Do you know what he does for inmates who are coming out and getting released from jail? Do you know anything he does? Zero.
No, I don't.
You have no knowledge of anything he does, but he's not an activist.
I haven't seen any activism.
Yeah,
no,
because he doesn't want you to see it.
And that's
and he said that. He said that.
I get it.
It's not about.
I get it. He's not really a guy that can confront it face to face. I get it. He kind of hides.
No, he just doesn't want to be the distraction that you claim he's going to be.
I understand.
That's what he's about. That's what he said.
I understand.
That's what he said. He doesn't want to be the distraction that you claim he's going to be. He does his work behind the scenes privately. And now, because he does his work behind the scenes privately and doesn't do it like Muhammad Ali, he's not a real activist. Like
all great activists are out there in public.
So all great activists
the way.
have to do their work in front of the scenes.
Yes.
Stevie Wonder was one of the biggest activists in that period of time. Ray Charles was one of the biggest activists in that period of time. Most of their work was done behind the scenes.
Those are blind men, Omar.
And it was done.
Blind men. They have to.
They were activists.
They have to do things a little differently, Omar. They're not going to lead marches, Omar. They can't find their way for a march. They won't be able to find the tree they got to tie themselves to, Omar.
One Stevie Wonder can see, so he can find his way.
Omar, you're comparing a blind activist to
I'm just giving you an example of people who
activists.
Not everybody who is an activist does their work in front of the cameras or needs to be Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson. Colin Kaepernick has done his work behind the scenes for years. Did it before he started kneeling. He's going to continue to do his activism work behind the scenes. That's not the attention is not what moves him. So I don't get your point there. Every activist isn't Muhammad Ali.
I know. It's the attention never helps. Yeah. That's not really what you want to do in activism, be out in public to stir attention. No, that's not really what you want to do when you do a 1 million man march.
Not everybody wants attention.
You don't want to do that. No, of course not. Roe versus
not everybody wants
you don't want to stand up and create a commotion. No, of course not. That's not what you really want.
Is the commotion healthy? Is the commotion healthy?
Yeah.
No.
Hell yeah, it is.
I don't agree, because then people like you will come out and say, "Oh, they're going to be a distraction wherever he goes." Because look, on Tuesdays he's pro.
It's not a matter whether you've got to separate whether I agree or disagree with something or the reality of you being a distraction. Whether you're Tim Tebow. Whether
he's done his work behind
Watson,
the scenes
or whether
for
you're
5
Colin
years
Kaepernick,
prove to
you're a
people
distraction.
that my work is not a distraction from me playing the game, but the things I'm passionate about doesn't take away from my love for football or my desire to continue to play. But people like you want to continue to bring it up. It's a distraction.
It's not whether I want to bring it up or not, whether I like it or not. Kaepernick is going to be a distraction just like Tebow and Watson. They are what they are, dude. Whether they like it or not, Omar, that's the part that you don't want to face. But those three gentlemen, no matter what they were going to do, it's going to be a distraction. So the question is, does your talent overcome the distraction? They saw Tim Tebow and said no. And they see Colin Kaepernick and they said no. And they saw Deshaun Watson and said, yeah, we're going to take the risk.
A distraction that lasts a week. And if you're scared of the boogeyman media, then you have a weak mentality that's not going to take you anywhere anyway.
I know, because when Tebow came over to the Jacksonville as a tight end, it wasn't a distraction at all. Years later. No, you're right. Yeah, and he wasn't a distraction with the Mets as a baseball player. And he wasn't a distraction also in the Jets. Come on, Omar. Really, dude. Really. Like everybody said, he was there in the Mets just to sell jerseys. He was taking a spot from somebody. Everybody said in Jacksonville, he was taking a spot from somebody. It was only one idiot that was willing to deal with the distractions when he didn't have the talent. No one else was going to do that in the NFL. You're really not.
And how do you know that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have the talent?
And it's whether it's 5 years out at this point. The question
Still got the
is,
talent.
for 5 years. For 5 years, nobody
Still got the talent. Seen it.
5 years, nobody in the NFL has thought his talent is worth the distraction. They're not going to think about it 5 years later. 5 years later, his talent.
My point is, go look. Go look.
Okay.
Answer the question. Go look.
Okay. All right. You'll see.
I mean, that's my point. Go look. You can go look. You can see whether or not he has the talent.
That's the naivete of your part there. You're just not getting the distraction part. That I
don't see the distraction.
It's not worth it for them. That's the thing that most NFL teams are going to say. It's not worth the distraction. Okay? He's not your starter. Why am I even going to bother?
Because you need more than a starter. I can tell you right now, I promise you right now, and because I've seen both quarterbacks, Colin Kaepernick's better than Jacoby Brissett. No, not even a doubt in my mind. Jacoby Brissett is the number 2 quarterback in the NFL and probably viewed as one of the better number 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. So if a guy that's out there
really is it still that after? Do you still think that? Do you still think that after what you watched last year?
My point is, if Jacoby Brissett is viewed as one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL, this is the view, the narrative, and I can tell you right now, I'd wager my life on it that Colin Kaepernick is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett right now. Why isn't he working?
Because one brings distractions, the other one doesn't.
Do you want to win or do you not want to win? Because right now,
once you get to that guy, your season's over anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey,
that's
Brian Flores kept the season alive with Jacoby Brissett as a starting quarterback.
You think they're going to keep it alive, but they're not. Those kind of guys.
Colin Kaepernick is better than Chad Henne, who's still a backup quarterback in the NFL.
I know, but Chad plays every year. He's still playing. He's still preparing for teams, and he plays a completely different quarterback position and a different offense. They can't even play in the same offenses. I mean, not that I'm defending Chad Henne by any stretch or whatever.
I'm just saying there are a lot of bums out here.
He's a regular drop back passer, whereas
if Joe Flacco could play in the NFL still, Colin Kaepernick could play in the NFL.
Joe Flacco won a championship and went 11 touchdowns and no interceptions.
And he's toast now.
That's
he gets
fine.
in the game.
That's fine, but that's a guy that accomplished it. The other guy didn't. That's the difference. And he stayed in football. That's it. And he's not a distraction. Once again, you keep leaving the distraction out. All right, what are you working on in the Sun Sentinel?
For the weekend, I'm going to have a breakdown of 10 guys who are basically their performance in mini camp and training camp will determine whether or not they make this team for a number of factors and reasons. The Lynn Bowden Jr.'s, the Preston Williams, the Myles Gaskins, the Sam Egwavons, the Adam Shaheen, those guys who basically are on the hot seat.
Okay. All right. Check it out and subscribe to the Sun Sentinel. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly.
We got a good one on I Am Athlete that I'm sitting here cutting up film for right now. You're gonna want to see that one on Monday. Aaron Donald. So
oh wow! All right.
We tease it. We're gonna tease it on I Am Athlete tonight. Sirius Channel 82 later tonight.
Great player, and certainly not a distraction.
Legend.
Yeah.
Who's considering retiring? So
he's not gonna retire. He's gonna come back.
Listen, from the very beginning, he said he only wanted to play 8 years in the NFL. And I can quote him, he's done everything he's wanted to do in the league.
He could be he might win another one, so I think he'll come back because they got a shot for one more at least. That group can challenge one more time at least before things start to get a little older for them.
We'll see.
All right. Follow him on Twitter, Omar Kelly. Appreciate you as always, Omar. We'll catch up next week.
All right, bro.
You got it. Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Cameron Wolf will join us at 12:30. Back with more.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
What? Oh, look.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Get locked out in the worst moments of your life.
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions, from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by HialeahParkCasino.com. Enjoy simulcast racing, dining, a magnificent poker room, and a casino with the most popular machines on the market. OKCoin.com. Download the app on iOS, Google Play, or Windows. OKCoin.com, with over 50 different coins and incredible staking rewards. Pallet Rack City. There's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We thank Omar Kelly. And before we get to Cameron Wolf, just to kind of wrap it up, whether you like Kaepernick or not, it doesn't matter to me. Whether you believe he can play or not, it doesn't matter to me. Whether you think he's a good activist or not, I don't really give a rat's ass either, okay? But the bottom line that Omar does not want to recognize, if he thinks that you're going to sign Kaepernick and there's going to be some hot and heavy questions for a week and then it dissipates, I'm sorry. That's just not the way it goes. When you sign a Tebow, when you sign a Deshaun Watson, and when you sign a Kaepernick, you're going to get backlash. It's different kinds of polarization. Deshaun's polarization is completely different than Kaepernick's and completely different than Tebow's. The difference is that in NFL eyes, whether Omar likes it or not, or any of you out there, whether you believe it or not, in NFL eyes and front offices, they will weigh the baggage to the talent. Okay? Deshaun Watson may be a rapist. We don't know. We'll never know. But he's so good that they'll take the chance. With Tim Tebow, it got to a point where it was so disruptive for the Jets to keep answering questions about a backup who doesn't play that they finally had to cut him. And he was disruptive as a Mets player because he didn't deserve to be in the minors. And everybody complained because he was taking up a spot and he was polarizing there. And he was polarizing in Jacksonville because he was taking a spot and his talent wasn't worthy. Same thing with Kaepernick. If they thought he was a franchise quarterback, if they were convinced that he was the guy, trust me, they would sign him no matter what. Okay? That's why Deshaun Watson is tolerated. That's why they're willing to take the chance. There's no public evidence finally that will really make him guilty. So they're willing to live with it. For Christ's sake, the Cowboys brought back a player that killed his teammate in a DUI crash the next day, then got backlash, and they figured out, oh my God, this must be a bad move for us. And these teams are ruthless. If they think you can play, they're going to tolerate you. That's the bottom line. And Kaepernick is not in the league. Sure, he was blackballed, but he was also not good enough to overcome the baggage. Because if he was, there aren't 15 really good ones on the planet. They would do anything to get one. And that's why he's not starting. And that's why if you're going to sign him to be your third quarterback, you're going to force your entire team constantly to be answering questions about a player that isn't playing. And whether you like it or not, I don't care. I'm telling you what the reality is of NFL teams and coaches. They don't like the word distractions. And if the guy's not starting, then he's a distraction. Why am I answering questions about the backup when you never answer questions about the backup on any team unless there's a controversy or you've got Tim Tebow? That's what's going to happen. All right, Cameron Wolf is next.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right, Cam. Hope you're doing well. And I'm not going to make this segment about Kaepernick, but
if you do want to speak your piece on what I was talking about, because Omar and I were going back and forth for a good 45 minutes on it and talking about it, and he doesn't really think that'll be much of a backlash or questions or all kinds of crap that will come when you do sign him. So your thoughts on why he is or isn't in the league and why somebody will or won't sign him in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't know the full context of y'all conversation. I have been of the view that Colin Kaepernick's been blackballed for the last 5 years. That's been my view. Whether that's right or wrong, everybody has their own perspective. But to me, there's a reality that he was one of the best 96 quarterbacks in the league, and that at bare minimum, and he wasn't playing because of his off the field decisions.
Agree.
So beyond that,
but how does it? It hurts him that he's top 96. He needs to be top 20 to overcome that whole crap that's over him. Right. That's my point. That if they were convinced he was top 20, somebody would say, "I'm going to put up with it." You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem that we keep saying top 96 or top 64. They have to look at him at a lot higher than that.
yeah, I think there's an interesting conversation about that from a football perspective, right? Because Cam Newton's going through, I think, a similar question from a football perspective. Is he worth bring him in as a backup? If he's a starter, you adjust your offense to him. You deal with a lot of the elements that come with Cam in that circumstance. And when he's not eligible to, not good enough to be a starter anymore, you got to ask yourself that question. So I think that from a football perspective, that's a worthy question to ask about Cap as well. But like I look at it as, if you're truly saying, is he worthy enough to be a better than most of the backups in the league, I'd say yes.
Of course.
I mean,
of course.
It's been 5 years, so I don't know what he looks like now. But when he was finishing his career, he was borderline starter, high end backup, right? And that's the way I see it. So I guess to answer your initial question, regardless, there's clearly a large amount of the public who have issues with Colin Kaepernick's decision to knee in protest of social justice and racial inequality. So they have issues with that. So you're going to find that backlash regardless.
Yep.
That being said, I think that the league is interesting in that the whole scout perspective is, if Hannibal Lecter ran a 4.4, they'd say he had an eating disorder.
Exactly.
So if you can play, then it starts to get dissipated. So, and also if you don't play, then I think it doesn't matter to an extent. The problem comes in if you play and you struggle, to me. And so that's how I view it. I view that if he gets signed by the Raiders or any other team, there's going to be heavy backlash and there's going to be a lot of attention on it the first couple of weeks. And then I think it'll go relatively quiet until he has to play in his first preseason game. Then it'll get higher again. And then I think it'll get quiet until he has to play in his first regular season game. Then I think it gets, so I think it all is based on whether or not you see him, because I think otherwise people would try to ignore him, and as they've tried to do for the last 5 years.
All right. Out of curiosity, how do you read into the whole Eric Bieniemy thing? Because we all wonder how he's always talked up and done a marvelous job apparently in Kansas City with Andy Reid. And we saw Shady McCoy come out and rip into him. And then Andy kind of defended him and said, hey, Shady was at the back end of his career, and Bieniemy is kind of a brutally honest guy, and he probably didn't like hearing the honesty at that point in his career. So what do you hear? Because it is kind of weird, like the Mark Jackson thing. I don't know if you followed on the basketball side, but now, a lot of the excerpts came out of why Mark Jackson doesn't have a job. And if that stuff is true, you can understand why he doesn't have a job. But Bieniemy, it's not like we've heard anything. This is the first time we hear the player complaining about Bieniemy, which, again, it's only one guy. I kind of have a problem with that. So tell me, what do you know about that situation? Because he looks like he's the guy that doesn't get that deserving shot.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that NFL owners and executives who have had meetings with him have not liked about Eric Bieniemy, and so I think that's probably a part of why he hasn't been a head coach. Like, I think that if you look at what the Chiefs system has turned out, they've turned out Matt Nagy as a head coach. They turned out Doug Peterson as a head coach. So logistically, Eric Bieniemy should be the next guy.
Wasn't LeFleur? LeFleur, isn't he from there?
Yeah. Yep. So Matt LaFleur, no, he came from Tennessee.
Oh no, the Tennessee one. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But either way, they brought in multiple head coaches, so you think the pipeline would be natural. But that being said, it's not the first time.
You know where I'm getting confused? LaFleur was with those Washington guys, right? With McDaniel. That's what it was.
McDaniel and
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So I would say it's not the first time I've heard something negative in regards to Eric Bieniemy. That being said, I do think there's some validity in what Andy was saying. You know, LaShawn McCoy was a 32-year-old running back when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs who had fumbling issues. If you remember, he had led the team in fumbles. And so I'm a little hesitant to be able to use that as clout. Now, Patrick Mahomes came out and said some of these things about Eric Bieniemy. Then all of a sudden, my eyes are going to open a little wider. So not saying it's not true, but I also take guys who are at the end of their career who may have a little bit of salt, take his words with a grain of salt.
So he's not a good interviewer, huh? That's what's kind of also hurting him?
Yeah, I've definitely heard from teams that he has struggled in interviews. Now, I heard in this past cycle he had better interviews than he has had in the past. But I've heard the interview term. I've heard some stuff about it. You know, that people have concerns about things in his past. He got in a little trouble, you know, a couple decades ago when he was coming up at CU. And so there's a few things all together. And then I think also, you know, if you're a black head coach, there a lot of times, let's just be frank, owners and executives are looking for reasons for why not to hire you. So if you've already got a strike or two on your belt, for whatever reason, whether righteous or not, I think that sort of disqualifies you. And one thing I actually talked to an executive about this offseason that I thought was interesting is he said sometimes there's like a little bit of a fatigue. And you see Eric Bieniemy's name come up every offseason. And if you're a team and 6 other teams have interviewed Eric Bieniemy, and you're the 7th, you're going to start worrying why these owners didn't hire him. Why should I be the one to be the first to hire him? And so that executive who I talked to had mentioned, hey, I am selective on my interview process because I don't want to get to the point where 7 or 8 teams have interviewed me. And then maybe teams are staled out on me because they're wondering, I'm just not going to hire him because nobody else will.
All right, we got a super chat coming in. Fake Spike 94, which you got to love that name, says, hey, Cam, where did you get the shirt, bro? It's fire. So they want your shirt, bro.
Appreciate you, man. As you see, I am on the beach hanging out with the fam. It's a Friday right before Memorial Day, so I'm trying to get in before all the tourists come in. But I believe I got this shirt from Zara. I try to wear some European Zara gear sometimes, so I think this is a Zara shirt. I remember one of the last times I came on here, you guys were talking about my red and white striped shirt. So I came in with a different style shirt. It seems like this one's getting a little bit more love. So I guess I got to go more of this style than the red and white stripe style. But I always like the you know, the button up where I can, you know, be free. It's light gear. So I'm definitely going to have a bunch of these rocking this summer.
Zara, like in Zara?
Yeah, Zara. It's like a European-based store, but there's plenty of them in the U.S. You can find them out here all the time. So you can either shop online. I think I bought this one online, actually, or you can go in the store. So I get some gear there.
Did you watch practice this week?
I did. I was out there Tuesday. So Tuesday. What's up?
Were you concerned about Teddy Bridgewater? Because I'm hearing some of you guys were like, wow.
I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. He didn't look good. He was underthrowing a lot of balls. He was, you know, it wasn't as fluid. His balls didn't look as great. But I'm not concerned because it's May. And I'll tell you guys this all the time. Like, maybe my employers do not want to hear this, but I put very little salt and importance on what happens in May. So if you ask me what I saw, yeah, he didn't look great, but does it matter to me? No. He could have thrown 7 interceptions, and I would have shown up in July at training camp like nothing ever happened. It's the same thing about.
I saw some guy break down all kinds of throws this week, and I'm like, dude, you need to get laid. You really need to get laid. I mean,
and no offense to fans, but fans will ask me, how did this UDFA look at practice? Dude, I have no idea. I did not pay attention to UDFA X. It's not anything significant to me until they have pads on, and really until like 2 or 3 weeks into pads. And so, yeah, I will notice things that I need to talk about. If Tua makes a really pretty throw, if Tyreek Hill is speeding past dudes, if I see a lineup change, I'll notice these things. But none of these things have significant value.
Yeah, you want to see if a guy's in shape or out of shape. You want to see if a guy is injured, wearing a sleeve, wearing a something. Why he's on the side working out and not. with the team. He's doing something individual and not with the team. These are the things, lineup changes. Those are the things you're looking for, really, when you walk onto the field in these kind of settings. Until you
Yeah.
put on pads, bro, and you start hitting, that's how football's played. It's not played.
Right.
What's that called? Intramurals.
Yeah,
It's not intramurals.
707. 707, yeah. Intramurals, two-hand touch, flag
It's the
football,
Big
yeah.
Ten. It's not in the murals. It's the Big Ten. It's come on. All right. What are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
NFL Network, man. We gotta get this down.
I'm
Big O.
sorry.
I know.
NFL Network. I'm sorry. NFL
I
Network.
know.
I have too many damn insiders and too many outlets to remember, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. We're up to 13 guys now, and I have to remember everybody. I should write it down. NFL Network. I apologize.
All good. I still get people on the streets who still forget that. So as long as they remember me, the outlet's less important. As long as you remember my name, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, man, this is really we're closing in on summertime. I can see the end. As you can see, I'm here at the beach. I'm almost there, but I'll be out there next week. Dolphins have mandatory minicamp, I think Wednesday and Thursday. And so I'll be out there. We'll do some stuff on TV there. I'm working on a couple features that'll probably come out closer to training camp, start of the season. And so that really the next couple of months, it'll be wrapping up here, OTAs, working on those features. And then once we get back here in late July, I'll be full force in training camp on TV probably every day here in Miami and probably 5 or 6 other cities. So definitely getting that rest in now, hopefully the next month and a half to prep for that busy time.
Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy the fam, my brother, and have a great weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Appreciate you, Big O. All right, man.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Cameron Wolf looking sharp. Yeah, baby. That's our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins report.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, we back. Weapon X United, thank you for the love on the super chat. I know that there was another super chat there, but we missed it. Yeah, it was about the logo. Our logo, the Dolphin logo. Oh, that's right. You can get it on yours, but not on mine. No, mine is already gone. Tell me who it was that sent in that super chat. Anyway, we got a couple things to talk about here before we wrap it up on the show. Out here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And always appreciate all of you out there, as always, for keeping it locked here with us. By the way, did you see they're making a Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Did you hear about that? You did, huh? What? Oh, you're doing some twisted things like I am. Winnie the Pooh just got real dark. A new horror movie called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Re-images the beloved children's book character as a serial killer, not exactly a cozy bedtime story. The indie horror title is currently in production. Director Rye Frake Watersfield, guy has 3 names. Usually these psycho killers have 3 names. Quite a staggering directorial debut. If you ask me, the cast includes Craig David Dowsett as Winnie and Craig Cordell as Piglet. Other characters include the Cage Man and Mauled Woman, just to give you an idea of where this thing is going. The film is being made by London-based Jagged Edge Productions, which has also made The Curse of Humpty Dumpty, The Legend of Jack and Jill. So it seems they've got a form of putting a bloody take on children's stories. That's just, I don't know, man. That's just wrong, dude. Do we have to ruin Winnie the Pooh? Like, really? Now we're going to make Winnie the Pooh a psycho?
How many people are actually going to probably
watch it?
Watch that.
But some twisted people will watch it.
There's going to be a few, but would they be watching Winnie the Pooh cartoon?
I mean,
I just listen. I never knew that they did the Legend of Jack and Jill and the Curse of Humpty Dumpty.
I never heard of those either until now.
You know what I mean? So I have no idea. But this is like a twisted thing that they're doing now. I gotta say, I'm certainly not paying to see this. I don't even think I would watch it on a platform at home or anything like that. I don't know why this would motivate me.
I'm not a horror movie guy anyway, so
I don't mind watching a horror movie or two. Although I'm very picky about it because, man, lately most of them just stink. It's hard to find really good ones. By the way, not a horror movie, but I will watch Goodfellas this weekend in honor of Ray Liotta. Definitely. I'm gonna take the time and kick back and watch a little Goodfellas. You got that?
I found
super
it.
chat?
Yeah, it's prime time 007.
And what do you say?
He says, "Oh, we ever getting our thousands Dolphins logo back?" He put 00 apostrophe s.
Oh yeah. It's coming back.
I guess because of the hat. Because you have the hat on.
Yeah, Garfinkel will bring it back, and I'm sure they'll put like a modern day twist to it, but it'll be the basic logo. I truly believe that's coming back. There's no doubt about that. It would just be awesome for them to do it. That would be really cool, and I think that's something that people would absolutely, go crazy and buy up everything. Okay. All right. When sports and business collide, we got something that's called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. All righty, the NFL, they produce more money than the Federal Reserve. If we actually had with the budget from the NFL, we probably would not have a deficit in this country. Well, the league that produces a lot of money is now producing its own streaming service, expected to come in July, according to the Sports Business Journal. Brian Rolup, the chief media and business officer, confirmed on March that a direct-to-consumer offering was under consideration and a launch before the 2022 season was mooted. Now, NFL Plus is reportedly set for a summer rollout, primarily focusing on providing access to live games on mobile phones and tablets. The service will cost about $5 per month. Thought the pricing structure may change. Other content such as radio, podcast, and various team-related content could also be featured. Sports Business Journal adds that live games on NFL Plus will be limited to what fans could otherwise see in their local TV markets. The NFL previously streamed games which were available in the markets on mobile and other devices, including Yahoo Sports app. The deal for Verizon-owned company has since expired, leaving the league to look for a way to distribute games via mobile and tablet for next season. So they're going to bring it in-house. That is genius. That is smart. And, of course, that's the future, man. That's the future. Radio stations are going to disappear. The worst investment that there is buying a radio station. The worst investment is thinking that you have a future in radio. Regular television stations are just going to be too expensive to run. Platforms is where we're going, bro. Platforms. And why do you want to go to a platform instead of a radio station? You don't deal with the government and the FCC. You're not regulated. Okay? We're not regulated here. That's the beauty. I can drop an S-bomb, I can drop an F-bomb, and they can't say anything. Okay? We can talk like we normally talk, like you normally talk. Hey, emotions get the best of us, we drop an S-bomb. Whatever. I don't have to worry about the FCC fining me or, taking us off the air or anything like that. And it's just too expensive, the overhead. Digital is where you're going. And the NFL now can do the things that they didn't have to give it over to NFL Films and HBO and everybody else because they didn't have the platforms to reach people because they didn't have satellites and television stations. Now you don't need that anymore. Now the internet connection is all you need. And that's it. And everybody's connected because everybody's walking around with one of these. So if you can reach them here, you can reach them anywhere. That's this world. We're not in front of a television set anymore. We're in front of every platform in the world by one touch of an app.
Genius move.
How's that going to affect their television rate deals and
Because
stuff like that?
they won't put the stuff that's on there. You'll get like really bad games and things that people aren't watching, and you know they said a team related content. And nothing against the local teams. You know, I mean, look, the Dolphins tried to do their own radio show and it failed miserably. Team programming doesn't get you anywhere. Fans, you know, it's nice, it's a little fluffy and all that, but in the end, team programming doesn't get you anywhere. So you'll have that. That's why it's $5 a month, bro. It'll go
So
up
you
a
still
little
can't
bit.
get out of market games then?
Yeah, I don't know. You're asking me something.
No, I
don't
know, but I'm saying, but more than likely, you're probably not. They're gonna have like a game of the day.
Yeah,
and that's what you watch that game or one of the games that you can
Jags
watch normally.
Falcons.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'd see that.
You know, that's all. And then if you're in Atlanta, they'll give you Carolina and Lions. Right. Exactly. And then if you're in Detroit, they'll give you, you know, Kansas City and the Colts, you know, which is actually a decent one. It's better than anything you're watching in Detroit. But, you know, hey. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. That's your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Righty. Thank you all as always. Big O, since this is Memorial Day weekend, are you a grill man? If so, which is your specialty? No, I'll eat, but I'm not the guy. He's the guy that grills. By the way, are we working Monday? I didn't even think about that. I don't know what we should do. Maybe we should take it off. What do you think? We don't have to be anywhere. Oh, but you know what? Yeah, we got the heat this weekend and all that. They're going to need us. Maybe, maybe Monday. I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe Monday I'll give him off and I'll just do something short on Monday just to give you guys something. Have you noticed the Finns don't wear aqua anymore? It's now freaking pastel teal. For Pete's sake, whose brilliant idea to change the logo and colors to this garbage? I don't know. I'm sure eventually we'll get back our regular colors are aqua and orange, and I think we'll get back our logo soon. Pound says, stop invoking our civil rights leaders and calling people a coward. You come from a people whose culture is fleeing their homeland and coming to the USA. Coward is the last thing you should say. Hey, dude, I'm sorry if you're butthurt by what I say. I'm going to speak my mind. If you haven't met me for 32 years, you don't know me, I'm going to speak my mind. And Colin Kaepernick is a coward. How do you like that? All right? I like my activists to be active, to be out front fighting for their cause. And I don't see him fighting for any cause up front. So, sorry. You and I are going to disagree on Kaepernick, and he's a coward. Because if he really wanted to be a quarterback, he would have gone to the CFL right away and shove it up the NFL's ass by kicking ass in the CFL, and half the fan base would have gone crazy and said, you better go sign that guy. But he didn't. He didn't force the issue. He quit, and he hid behind the scenes and got his Nike money. He didn't really want to be a quarterback. If he wants to be a quarterback, he does what Warren Moon did and Joe Theismann and Jeff Garcia. Those guys were told no for different reasons, obviously. I'm not denying that the man was blackballed, but you got to fight it. You got to fight it, dude. Jackie Robinson put up with it, dude. He opened the door for everybody else. That's the way it is. That's what activism is. You feel that nuclear power plant shouldn't be there? Well, then that's why they park their asses in front of the driveway of it, and they tie themselves to a fence and get arrested, because that's activism. So you and I have a different definition of activism. That's all. You and I have a different definition of fighting for your career. That guy didn't fight. That guy kept saying and just waiting for somebody to give it to him when he didn't go out and take it like others have. Mark Dixon was told no, went to the CFL, came back. Cam Wake was told no, went to the CFL and came back. You can go to that league and go play your ass off and play at a level that the people in this side say, oh no, we got to have them. We got to have them. But hey, your definition of activism is different than mine. That's all. All right? So you don't like it? Too damn bad. Switch the channel, my brother. Turn it off, pound. I ain't holding a gun to your head here. All right? But if you think you're going to control the narrative on this show and you're going to tell me what to think, get the hell out of here, dude. Okay? So I'm old school, man. I'm about fighting. I'm about fighting for what you believe in. And there's no fight there, bro. Nothing. There's a typical millennial. Just give. Give me. So that's it. Give Sean Monday off, I'm told. Take a day off, O. You deserve it, O. Civil rights leaders. We haven't seen civil rights leaders since the 60s. Exactly. Squeeze says take a vacation. Irving, let's see. It's easy for him to say he was fired for his activism, but reality is he's lost his job before he was an activist. Hey, reality is he didn't fight for his job. That's the reality. As I've said before, my man, you're an actor. And hey, man, you can't make it in Hollywood. You go to New York. Can't make it in New York. Well, then go to Nashville. Go to London. You know, Jimi Hendrix wanted to be a musician, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Couldn't make it in the States. He had to go to London first. Yeah. Yeah. They figured out his greatness before we did. One of ours had to go across the pond and go get famous. Why? Because he fought for his love for what he does. It's the way it is, man. You know, you want to run a business, maybe you fail, but you open up another business and you fail again, but then you open your third one and you learn from your first two and now you're successful. You were relentless at it. You took acting jobs, commercials, anything, and then eventually it hit. You became an actor. You're a musician. You had to be in bars for years until you got that record contract. But damn, you got it in China first because you were big in China. And then finally, you know, Island Records or Atlantic noticed you here in the States and then brought you over. Now, all of a sudden, the American is back on his own soil with a record contract. We all fight for what we want, man. Do you know how many times we're told we can't do something? No, we're not allowed. We're not allowing you to do this. No, you can't get this job. No, you've been fired. Why? No reason at all. Politics involved. But then you find a way to overcome all of that. Those are the people I respect. Those are the people that I admire. I admire Klay Thompson. Injury after injury, did not give up. That's what I'm used to, man. Sorry. I see no fight in that guy. That guy never forced the issue. No, give me a workout. Give me a workout. Why? Oh, because I'm Colin Kaepernick. And I played 5 years ago. Not because I'm Colin Kaepernick and I went to the CFL and I kicked ass and I threw for 4,000 yards and won 2 Grey Cups. No. I'm Colin Kaepernick and I've done nothing. I've sat around for 5 years with my thumb in my ear doing nothing. Sorry. Your activism, your fight is different than mine. I admire the people that truly fight the fight. Those are the people I admire. Okay? I admire John Travolta, who was on top of the world, then lost it all, was like a B actor for a short time, and then revived his career. I admire Aerosmith. They were the bomb. And then in the very early 80s went into a hellhole that you thought they were never going to come out of, and then Run DMC saves their asses. And the rest is history for Aerosmith. I admire the people that keep fighting the fight. And I can come up with endless amounts of examples of people that were denied and fought it and came back, people that were on top, lost it and got it back. We have tons of stories like that. He's not one of them. So your admiration for certain people is different than mine. That's how we're going to always differ on Colin Kaepernick. I'm old school. Oh, wait a minute. You're not allowing me to do this? Oh, really? Okay. I'm going to take it away from you. That's all. Ray Grullon, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, thank you, Orlando, for your daily show. In closing, RIP Andy Fletcher from Depeche Mode. Yes, we lost Fletch yesterday. Andy Fletcher, one of the original members of Depeche Mode, man. Terrible. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Let's see. Big O Cap says he was protesting against oppression and he wears a Fidel and Guevara t-shirt. I know. You can't talk about oppression and then you're wearing a Fidel shirt. Then you're just a dumbass. You're just an uneducated dumbass is what you are. That's why I have no respect for the guy. It's like people are oppressed all over. You better understand oppression everywhere. So, like, if you don't know history, then, you fight for one group, but you insult another. It's like, and then you wear pig socks, like, for cops. There's a lot of great cops, man. A lot of them. And they're fighting for us every single day. And yeah, we got bad ones, but we can't crap on all of them when a lot of them are sacrificing every day of their lives for us. So for crap money, by the way. Jimi Hendrix played a left-handed guitar right-handed because he didn't know there was such a thing as a left-handed guitar, yeah? And that he started something because other people have done it. Have you noticed that? Because it became a thing after that, Oh, do you envision anything that will unite this country? There's so much hatred and division, points of views. Troy, I don't know what's going to bring us together because none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. I'm not, I hate to get political on you guys or whatever. This is for both sides, Democrats and Republicans. As you all know, I don't take either side. I laugh at both sides. Here's an example. Are you ready? Here's how I laugh at both sides. Okay? You got a group that wants some gun control, right? They want some laws passed, which makes a lot of sense and all that stuff, right? You got a group that wants to do that, right? Okay, that's fantastic. But part of that group, well, some of their states, like let's say Portland, they've got like people with rifles and guns in the middle of downtown and protesting, and you can openly be like that, right? In another state, in Washington, they allow a autonomous zone. So you can destroy an entire neighborhood, take over a police department. Okay, so you want gun control and you want background checks, but you're breeding criminals. This is one of those sides, right? Walgreens is pulling out of California. Why? Because the leadership there, if you steal under $100, they don't do anything to you. So people know they can walk into Walgreens and steal $100 or $90, and you won't be prosecuted. But you want gun control. Then you got the other side. They're all passing laws for voter fraud that never happened. It's just, sour puss, you lost, sour grapes, you lost. They'll kill themselves. They'll redistrict voting to take out black votes out in the panhandle and all that. They'll pass voting rights all over the place, but they'll tell a woman she can't have a pregnancy. She can't have an abortion. So they'll do anything to control voter rights in their way, but they'll stop a woman from having the right to have an abortion. The extremes in this country is what ruins everything. Right, left, I don't care. You're all a mess. It doesn't really matter. And they both talk from both sides of their mouths. None of it makes sense. They tell you one thing and they do something else. And it's the same kind of people on both sides. And that's all they do is they pollute each other and they pollute our country. And that's why we have this divide. We had a man that was Chinese and hated Taiwanese people and walked into a church and shot him up. How does that make any sense? We got people that are walking up to Hasidic Jews and beating them up in the middle of Brooklyn. How does that make any sense? We're walking up to Asian people because they're Asians and we're beating them up. We're going into a supermarket because it's in a black neighborhood and I don't like blacks, so I'm going to shoot up black people. How does any of this make any sense? So when you ask me what is going to bring us together, I have no idea, my brother and sisters. I have zero clue because there is no leadership on either side that can reach both sides because the extremes are ruining everything. And let me tell you something. This is the most screwed up part about our country. I think most of us are closer to the middle and we can kind of work things out. It's just that the extremes are so loud on each end and they're so disruptive that we're allowing them to disrupt everything that we do. So it's a twisted thing, dude. And no side has it perfect. And I laugh at Democrats and I laugh at Republicans when they sit there and they think they have all the answers. And I can just slice you apart on each side where you're telling me one thing and you're doing something completely opposite on the other end. Just none of this makes any sense. Nowhere. Why do you go in the Pulse nightclub? Why? Because you don't like the LGBT community? I don't get this, dude. None of this I understand. Can't deal with any of it. Nothing. It's just, agendas and, that's all you're going to satisfy. And I get it. I probably pissed off both sides, and I'm glad I did. But I hope you at least think about it a little bit. You know what I mean? But some guy on Twitter is like, I love the mute button. God, I love the mute button. He was like, oh, well, you want Biden this? I'm like, no, dude, I'm not a Biden guy. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I don't think either side gives us any good candidates. So, it's like, I don't care about either side. I can slice them apart, both of them. It's just, they're all terrible. We just have no leadership, man. And I don't know if the human being exists that can reach everybody. That's a magical person, man. That is a magical person. If we can find that one man or woman that can reach everybody, I just don't see it, man. It's hard. Arnaldo says, exactly, Big O. I've been in law enforcement for over 20 years now, and yes, there are bad cops, but there's a hell of a lot of better ones, and of course. Now, Arnaldo, here's the one thing I will say to all police officers across the country. You guys got to rat out the bad ones. You have to. This blue covering blue thing, that don't fly, man. That don't fly. That's the one thing that I will say that has to change. And I think it's changing. You know why? Because I think the good cops are getting tired of the black eye. And I think they're figuring that out, that, hey, man, we better get rid of the scum. You know what I mean? And, that's the one thing that I will say, that we need more cops to step. Hey, listen, if you want the public to help the police officers, okay, here's another hand washing hand. Okay, officers want the public to help and work with them and give them tips, right? Well, work with the community. Get rid of the bad officers. That would help out too. When you protect your own and everybody knows that that person is guilty, that does not help your relationship. So again, there has to be a give and take in everything in life. And that's what I would say also. That you got to find a way to weed those people out, man. You cannot protect them. That's the problem too. So the two political party system will be the undoing of America. Independent parties are not taken seriously and not allowed. Just because you have an independent, Brett, doesn't mean you're going to have a good candidate either. That's the problem, my brother. It's not a matter of being a Democrat or Republican. It's fine to be either or an independent. It's, can you come up with a real candidate that can really bring people together, that cares about human beings, that really wants what's best for everyone. That's the thing, not what's best for a certain agenda. You know what I'm saying? So being independent or Democrat or Republican, that's not what it is. It's finding the right leadership. Like I just told you, we don't have the right leadership on either side. You know, that's all it is. So Robert says, you didn't piss me off, Big O. I know, but you know how it is. And so, you walk eggshells when you talk this kind of stuff because people get insulted, and then they, what I love is that they paint me in a picture of one corner, and I'm really the last guy that you do that to, because I just don't care about either side. I laugh at both sides and I pick on both sides constantly, so it's just, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. Yeah, America needs a uniter. Yeah, but and it's hard to find, man. It really is hard to find. What else do we have? All right, let's do our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
Alrighty. Lots of things to talk about, but in our matchup of the night, of course, we're going to go with the Miami Heat at the TD Garden tonight at 8:30. The Heat right now, well, the Celtics are favored by 8.5 points. The over and under is 201. It's even at 9 points, by the way, in some places. Heat are plus 330 in the money line. The Celtics are minus 430 in the money line. I'm not going to tell you to pick the money line. Either side, I just don't like the Heat tonight. I just think they're too injured. Listen, I know there's a lot of you sitting there going, oh, they're going to dig deep inside and they're going to reach out and they're going to get the best out of themselves and they're going to go in there and surprise. I would love to see that. I hope I am so wrong. I hope a bunch of you are tweeting out to me, you thought they were going to lose this, that. And I just think that the Jimmy I've watched the last couple of games, I truly feel, and hindsight is 2020, you probably should have never played Jimmy and PJ in game 4. After you won game 3, went up 2-1, mission accomplished. Rest those guys. Don't play them till game 5. Give them 4 days rest. Maybe you got a better shot coming home and taking a 3-2 lead. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, that's not the case. They now have a 3-2 lead tonight. They can advance. They know that Golden State has advanced already. And they're already banged up too as it is. I don't know if Smart's going to play. I haven't even looked it up yet. But you know what? It's not going to change my pick here. Okay? I'm going to go with the Heat on this one. But I'm going to take the 8.5 points. I think they're going to lose. And I think it's going to be close to that 8.5 points. I'm going to hope that they kind of hang in there and make it a game towards the back end, and the young guys get some baskets, and it closes out by 6-7 points. But yeah, 8.5 is a lot. Celtics could take the gas off the pedal, and towards the back end when they're comfortable, and maybe Miami makes a little late charge and gets in there. So I'm gonna go Heat plus 8.5 tonight against the Celtics in this final game of the regular season or the postseason for the Miami Heat, unfortunately. Yes, sir.
Yesterday, Smart and Williams both questionable on the 5 o'clock injury report.
Right. Okay. All right. They don't need him last time, so, we'll see. That is, and by the way, remember, you can tap that app, iOS or Android, Liquor Splits, one flat fee of $2.99, so you can watch the game tonight. Order your favorite liquor or snack at liquorsplit.com. Tap that app.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download then tap that app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
He tied the beneficiary. I like that one. He says that dig deep down inside always makes me laugh. It's hilarious. Like they don't dig deep all the time. Like they're not. Jimmy played injured, so you can't dig any deeper than that. I am so with you on that. It's just I'd love to put unrealistic expectations on it, but that's not who I am normally. Yeah, listen, I am just as guilty as you guys at times, and I'll be a blind ass fan. There's no doubt in my mind it'll happen to me. Okay? Happens to all of us. Gets the best of all of us. But this time around, I don't have a good feeling, man. I love the Heat, but they're just out of gas. Great season, man. They maxed out the roster. They did. So they got nothing to be ashamed of. I'm proud of them as a Heat fan. If it ends tonight, if they were able to stretch it to 7, then they're even ballsier than I ever thought. So nothing but love for the Miami Heat. All right, we thank Ira Winderman, Manny Navarro, Omar Kelly, and Cameron Wolf for joining us. We thank all the great people out here, as always, for making it nice and easy at Craig Zinn's, Acura Pembroke Pines, Sean Stanley, mastering the program. I think we shall see you on Monday, same time, same place, same bat channel. I love you all. Thank you for supporting us.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.